61 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here's college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this Victory Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. I would say I hope you guys are doing well, but I'd imagine you're doing pretty good, at least in terms of the sports world. If you're an Alabama fan, you got to be doing really good. Talk about a come back to life, comeback win for Alabama, being down 17-0, Reed, early on in the game. But then the resurgence, right? I mean, guys not wavering, guys not whimpering. Many Men comes on, 50 Cent comes on, and I think it worked more in our favor than theirs. We're going to talk about this game, Reed. 34-24 victory over the Oklahoma Sooners in their backyard in Norman, Alabama. Finally gets the job done against Brent Venables and the Sooners, man. Third time is the charm, I guess. Didn't look like that was going to be the case early on in this football game, but that's why they always say it's a 60-minute ball game. Speaking of that, there's probably a lot of people that were going back and deleting tweets and going back and trying to correct themselves. I'll just say this, you know, again, I do the post-game show on the network. I always jot down my notes throughout the game. The first part of my notes, I'll be completely honest, Reed, there was a lot of not criticism. Well, yes, it can be called criticism, but a lot of negatives to break down because let's be honest, that first quarter might have been one of the worst ones we've seen, especially in a matchup like that. And it was not looking pretty. But sure enough, man, these guys kept fighting, had a couple things go our way, which has to happen in these big matchups, especially if you want to make a comeback. And most importantly, Reed, we made some playoff caliber football plays in this game. We'll talk about those plays. Hell, we've been giving a look. We'll pull up some tape. We'll watch it. We're going to break it down. And I'm going to give you guys my whole breakdown, my whole thought process on this matchup, as we always do on a Victory Monday. But then I want to hear from you guys, 205-342-9904. That is the number to the program. We'd love to get you guys on the phone lines, get y'all's opinions on this matchup. And then later on in the show, maybe we'll do an early preview on what's next for Alabama after defeating Oklahoma. First team to win a playoff road game after defeating the Sooners Friday evening. What's next? Well, Indiana, the number one seed in the playoff bracket, is next on the schedule out in California in the Rose Bowl. So that's going to be fun. We'll do an early little preview there, but we'll definitely focus a lot on this matchup and what the hell happened, right? I mean, how did we get down 17-0? How do we come back from that? And how do we just completely look like a completely different team outside of that first quarter? We'll dive into the specifics of everything like we like to do with our breakdowns and all that good stuff. All we do is ask if you guys are joining us on the stream. Hey, just hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening via Tide 100.9 FM or the app, welcome in. You guys can sit back and hell, if you got some questions, just drop us an app message, and we'll definitely try to respond to that as well. Got to remind you about our friends over at the Good Feet Store, America's art support experts. Try before you buy, nothing to lose. Make sure you guys go check them out. If you haven't already, if you're dealing with any foot pain, knee pain, back pain, hip pain, you name it, they will take care of it right there at the Good Feet Store. These people are awesome. Customer service is about as good as it gets, and plus the products are phenomenal. Again, they are clinically proven to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain in just 4 short weeks, so make sure you guys step on by the Good Feet Store, especially if you're like me. You're on your feet all day. You don't have to be a former athlete. Everybody deals with aches and pains, especially to start getting up there in age. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. Again, you can go to their website, get more information, find the nearest location to you. That is the Good Feet Store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Let's do this. Since we got plenty to talk about and already laid the table, that's going to be pretty much what this show consists of. Alabama-Oklahoma breakdown, a little preview later on in the show. Let's hit our first time out. That way we can stay on schedule when we come back. We jump into this breakdown. We talk about what transpired in this matchup, how Alabama came back from that 17-point deficit. And again, later on, we'll talk about what's next. All right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
The holidays are here, and the lady in your life doesn't just need another sweater. She needs the self-care of high-end treatments and services from Blogo Salon and Med Spa in downtown Tuscaloosa. Now through Christmas Eve, Blogo is offering a 25% bonus value on every gift card. You pay $200, but she gets to spend $250. Or grab a $50 stocking stuffer for just $40. There's no limit on the value you can add. De-stress your shopping. Visit Blogo on Jack Warner Parkway or at blogosalonmedspa.com.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah,
What's up, guys?
I got this.
Sorry, grab my drink real quick, make sure we're good. About to be talking a lot. You guys know how these are. I'll try to squeeze the breakdowns down. I end up going way too long, but I try to cover all the details I can. And we got some tape. I have I've got our defensive tape right now. I'm still waiting on the offensive tape. So we might have to stick with that for a minute when we dive into it. But hey, at least we got something for now. But hopefully we can get the offensive side of things quick, because I'll be honest, I really want to pay attention there. There's some stuff to see defensively for sure in terms of kind of what they changed up, some of those adjustments. But I think offensively, man, I think that's what everybody wants to see. So we'll try to get that as soon as possible. Who do we got in here? Let's see. Jake, what's up? Phil, what's up? Arthur, Newt, Yakenji, the Jarrell, what's up? Mike, what's going on? Travelpreneur Ricky, what's going on, guys? Daryl, what's going on? Huge victory indeed, man. I think that was the largest comeback in playoff history yet, or at least it was tied for it. I think Oklahoma lost a game being down 17-0. What was it when they played Georgia in the Rose Bowl or something like that? Could be wrong. But I think that was something definitely want to see how the offensive line handled our Thomas. Yeah, I'll pull as soon as we get that, man, I promise I'll get that pulled up, because I hadn't even had a chance to watch that copy yet. I can see if it's on there now. I don't think it was updated yet. Let's see. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. And welcome back into this Victory Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. Getting ready to dive into this breakdown. As I mentioned, we have the defensive copy of the tape, but don't have the offensive copy just yet. So we'll probably start there when we do get into breaking some tape down, and then we'll try to move forward from that. But I know everybody wants to see the offensive side of things, because there was a lot of big things happening offensively. Not to say defense. Defense did their thing. Listen, first quarter was not great, but outside of that, definitely made some adjustments. We'll talk about those and hopefully be able to show you guys here in a minute. But as you guys know, try to break it down first for our radio listeners, for everybody. Then we'll pull up the tape here and dive into it here in just a second. Reed, who's behind the glass. Reed, you said you watched the game. You said you had faith. Your dad was a little nervous, man. At what moment did you feel like how did it go for you? Because this is how it went for me. We go down 17-0, and I said one of my keys for this game is I think we need to start fast. I think that would help us out tremendously, especially knowing that Oklahoma, they're not a team that wants to be playing from behind, which we found that out. They found that out, or they knew that. Spelled trouble for them in the second half once Alabama did in fact take the lead. That said, for me, when we were able to come back from that 17-0 deficit and go into halftime tied up, I felt extremely confident about this game. I'm sure you guys also did, but to me, that signified, hey, it's a 0-0 game technically going into the half. We're about to get the football back. And I know things hadn't been looking great for us even in the first half, but to me, I had faith, hey, we could go make some adjustments and come out of the second half and play much better football than those guys can. And I just know what that can do to you mentally. If you give up a 17-point lead as a football team, and you know your offense isn't the most well-built offense to be able to, have these long drives, go put up a bunch of points, you already knew what was going on. You talk about the whole aspect of those guys riding on all the motivation that they had, all the tactics, the 50 Cent concert in the third quarter, the drone show pregame, all that stuff. It only lasts so long. And then when you give up a 17 point deficit like that, or a 17-point lead, that can definitely mess with you mentally for a football team. But Reed, when was it that you really felt confident that Alabama was going to be able to pull this off?
So, Christian, I kind of say it was two parts. Of course, when we scored on the 4th and 2, Brooks making his way. I know Pat called earlier and called it the Superman, which I found pretty funny because he kind of like dived into the end zone like Superman there. So I was like, okay, hey, we're not done yet, But I think the missed pass, the missed deep pass on 3rd down, which then forced them to punt. And then I don't know if it was on that same punt or a later punt, and then the punter dropping, or I'm not exactly sure what happened there, because it looked like he was good to punt it off, and then it feels like when he did his drop, he like miscalculated or something, and we got it, like we got good field position, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, this game might be kind of turning around here. So I think it was right then, in these kind of games, in the playoff games, you got to win on the special team side of the ball.
You do, and ironically, that's where we won, which – let's dive into it. This really felt like an inverse almost of the last matchup these teams had. Oklahoma outgained us, right? In total yards, they outgained us. I want to say it was I had the box score pulled up here, but they outgained us in this football game. John Mateer threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns as well he had. I mean, I'm sure if you asked Oklahoma's coaching staff if they had those numbers, they would feel so damn confident that they would be able to pull this game off. But we know what can happen when you play good football and you're able to do some good things. Turnovers and costly mistakes, they ultimately can end up being the deciding factor. And look, that's pretty much what happened in this football game. After a very good start for Oklahoma, they jump up 17-0 on us. Listen, the first quarter, we had like 12 total yards. I don't think we had a single first down. Their defense was aggressive. They were bringing it. And I'm not going to lie, in my head at that point, Reed, I just was thinking like, man, this feels like it's going to be one of those days where, unfortunately, our offense, you guys heard me. I said, I'm really going to be disappointed if our offense doesn't, come back to life even a little bit after having some time off, some time to prep. And initially, man, that's kind of what it looked like. I mean, we were struggling with picking up the pressures, which we said that was going to be a huge key in this game. And defensively, I'm just going to be honest, man, the first quarter, we did not tackle well. We looked a little soft. We were giving up way too much in the passing game. We were playing a lot of zone defense. They're picking us apart, just like remember last week when Jake asked me that question. That's why I said I'm not a huge fan of just sitting back in soft zone, man. You can get picked apart like that, and teams can just move the football down the field. And that's pretty much what we were seeing. We weren't getting any pass rush early on. I mean, we started this first quarter, probably about as bad as we could have imagined. And I want to say there's another game that was similar where I feel like we just had a really bad first quarter. I can't remember which one, but it really felt like that. That said, you got to tip your hat to Oklahoma. I mean, they did about all the things that they want to do outside of those costly mistakes, which came early in the game with the he called a block punt, but the guy really dropped the ball. It's kind of crazy. I've never seen a punter just drop the football like that. But he drops the football, ends up being a block punt. Shout out Tim Keenan recovering on it. We get the ball there, leaves the points. And then, like you mentioned, the 4th and 2 effort by Latsier Brooks, man, talk about a dog. I mean, that second effort by him to find his way in the end zone. Honestly, that to me was the turning point in this football game. And I'll explain why, but that was at that point. Those are our first points, right? That was the first touchdown when we scored. And I'll dive into a little bit deeper later, but there was confusion, right? We motioned to empty, and there's defense always, you have like empty checks. In 5, the guy we talked really highly of, right? 6'5", 240. I mean, really good football player. He's sitting there confused, right? He's asking like, what do I have? What do I have? He didn't know what his responsibility was. He ends up like starting to rush on the play. Obviously ended up being a bust. I was shocked that Venables did not call a timeout right there. And I know you don't want to necessarily give Alabama more time to go draw up something else or get in, you know what I mean? Like they're even, I guess, give them time, right, for them. But to me, if you got a guy sitting there acknowledging, hey, I don't know what the hell is going on. This is like a critical 4th down play right here in the low red. I was surprised he didn't call a timeout and it ended up being a touchdown. And I think that kind of got the wheels turning. Then you talk about that pick six by Xavier Brown, very reminiscent of the Tennessee pick six, man. And we'll talk about what we did there to cause that. Again, I'm all for saying, hey, we made a mistake, they made a mistake, but you got to give credit when it's due. And we forced that issue. It wasn't just John Mateer just throwing a bad ball. Definitely was a bad decision, but that decision was forced by some things that we did. But again, the resurgence after that first quarter, man, was really impressive. We had to rely on some gifts, so to speak, from those guys. But again, that's what you have to have in these games. You got to capitalize on it. And unfortunately, we didn't capitalize on some of those gifts in the first game. This time around was much better. Talked about that block punt and the pick six, along with that fourth down conversion. Those are the biggest plays, leading to that comeback, and then going into halftime, making some adjustments and coming back out, just still swinging, man, not giving up. It's like a heavyweight fight in any boxing match, right? One guy's getting beat up the first couple rounds. He's kind of feeling it out. It looks like he damn near is almost knocked out early in the round. And next thing you know, he just comes back to life, man, ends up winning it because he sustained. And that's what we did, man. We sustained all the shots that they gave us. So this was crazy. We ended up going on a 27-0 run. 27-0 to run, left these guys scrambling. And they don't like playing from behind. That's not what they do. All that momentum that they had offensively started to die down. And the adjustments that we made defensively were really solid in this game. I'll dive into that here in a second. But want to give a shout out also while we're talking about everything in this matchup. Special teams, Connor Talty, the guy that had struggled, later, I guess this whole year. But we know he had a moment where he was booed at one point. And talk about his play since then. He's been so much better. And in this game, he ended up outperforming the Lou Garza Award winner for Oklahoma. And that was one of their elite things. That guy ended up missing 2 field goals, a little bit of a factor, but still no excuses there. Connor Talty found a way, right? He also had the win and he was able to drill his. So shout out to him for being able to stay resilient, keep his head down, keep working and showing up big when we need it. But this is how I look at it, just to break it down real quick from defense and offense. Defense, tough start, missed tackles, giving up way too much. We make some adjustments. We start being more aggressive, calling more pressures, play a lot more man coverage, ends up paying dividends. We end up going from no pass rush to getting, I think, 5 sacks total on the day. Shout out to guys like Yonze Pierre making plays up front. Keon Keeley continues to find himself in big plays when we need it, man. He's stepping up, so it's always cool to see that. And I just thought overall, man, just defense played much better outside of that first quarter. I thought linebacker play was much better, very solid. Deontay Lawson and really all the backers had good games. Justin Jefferson looked solid as well. Nikhai Hill Green, he had one play, man. He just showed his range, just, completely seeking out. I think it was maybe like a sweep or something that they ran, but all the linebackers I thought played well. And then, we talked about the big pick by Xavier Brown and some big plays by those guys as well. So I thought overall defense outside of the first quarter played some damn good football. Yes, we gave up, a number of things, couple of explosives early on wasn't great, but hey, man, we made those adjustments and it made a world's difference. Then offense, right? Bad start, 12 yards thing in the first quarter. I mean, it was not looking pretty. Didn't really consistently run the football, but the most important thing was we were able to run it at the end when it mattered the most. And listen, Daniel Hill to me just looked a lot more fresh in this game. I wasn't sure what we were going to get out of Jam just because I figured that he still was a little bit banged up. But Cuevas being back, I thought made a big difference in this football game. And shout out to the wide receivers, man. I mean, we talked about this on the show. We needed some guys to step up, right? Like somebody had to step up and help out. I know Ty hasn't been on his A game, but still, you got to have players that make plays. And I talked about this going back to last week. When you watch these highlights, it's not always the quarterback making perfect throws. Sometimes the receivers have to step up and help make these plays right for him because that's number one, their job. But two, it's going to help build his confidence, and that's what we saw. I think it started with Latzia Brooks. I think the return of Cuevas definitely helped out, just having him back, just knowing he's that security blanket for Ty. He had 3 receptions for 35 yards, a long of 23. I mean, again, and he's fighting through it, man. But these guys, man, they're tough, man. A lot of them banged up, but they still are fighting through it. But I thought Brooks was great. He definitely was a big piece of the 27 unanswered points. after being down 17. And I thought, we did a number of different things to help kind of, I guess, give some different looks. We talked about some tempo, right? Not necessarily just like tempo, like no huddle type deal, but we saw like some muddle huddle, quick getting to the ball, running a play. I thought those little change-ups helped out a little bit. And so overall, man, I thought this was probably one of our better games outside that first quarter, just in terms of really I just was impressed with the resiliency, man. Being able to get hit in the mouth like that early on the road. Like, I don't think people understand that. That's tough to maintain a mindset of, hey, man, we're down 17-0 on the road in a playoff game. Is now or never. We haven't been playing great the last few weeks. Definitely looks like we're continuing down that trend. But for them to keep their heads down and keep on pushing, man, that was definitely very impressive. And then we had a number of plays that you have to have if you want to listen. At this point in the year, you have to have guys step up and make those plays. The play, like the deep shots that we finally hit on, right? Me and Smitty were talking about that, being able to hit some of those 50-50 balls. You got to have those opportunities. Jeremy Bernard, the catch over the back looked like something from, Tyrone Prothro. I mean, those types of plays are what we've been lacking. And to see those return, man, listen, if you want to win in the playoffs, you got to have guys step up like that. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like that, you have to have big-time players making those plays in these moments. So that's really what it boiled down to. It was almost an inverse of what we saw in the first matchup. Oklahoma played a solid game. Again, shout out to Mateer, give him props, right? I mean, 26-41, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a really bad pick. That definitely was a turning point in this game. But, I mean, he played about as good as they probably expected him to. Probably played better than they even anticipated. But still, man, some of the costly turnovers, then that willpower from Alabama, not giving up at all, right? Finding a way, right? Even on the running game. Wasn't really consistent. Didn't run the ball a whole bunch, but got some big plays out of it when we needed. Now talk about some of the differences out of those explosives versus, why we might not have had those in the past. So that was it, man. Alabama with a huge comeback. I think one of the biggest ones in college football playoff history. And they continue. They advance. They go on where they'll face Indiana in the Rose Bowl here on New Year's Day. It's going to be exciting. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. And there's hopefully a lot of people that are finally going to put down the whole talk about our coach, maybe, testing the water outside somewhere else. I don't think I never thought that was going to happen. I definitely think that you could probably shut the door on that one now, but who knows? Somebody's probably still going to come up with something next week or something. Who knows? So it's always going to be something. But that's it. That's kind of my initial breakdown. I got plenty more to talk about it, but I'd rather pull up the tape, which we got here. We'll do that. We'll pull up some stuff. I'll take y'all's questions. We'll take y'all's calls. 205-342-9904. Breaking down this Alabama-Oklahoma matchup. We come back. We'll keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
The legendary Smokey Robinson Legacy of Love Tour.
Damn, we forgot to mention Ty. Oh, let me open this for these damn dogs. All right. Sweeps were not possible against OU. Indiana is going to feel it. Ryan Williams. Why don't you think they're possible? I mean, those dudes do run sideline to sideline well, but I mean, I wouldn't say they weren't possible. Still trying to find the struggle of Ryan Williams. During warm-ups, he catches with his hands, but during the game, he uses his body. Yeah, I think he has to get his confidence back, man. I think he's leading the FBS with in drops, but he's just got to get his confidence back. When you look at the film, our DBs actually played lockdown man-to-man coverage. Granted, no one is scared of OU's receivers, but we had to play them more. Latoya, what's going on? I think Ryan may go off one of these games. No, I mean, he's definitely due for it, man. I mean, we know the potential that he has, but I think he's just got to get out of his head. No, he's definitely still dangerous, but here's my thing. you still want to try to find ways to get him the football and let him make some plays. But I just think that right now, probably just work him on some screens, some stuff like that, simple stuff for now until we do build that confidence back up. Because I think there's a balance, right? You don't want to force things, but you definitely don't want to give up on them. And welcome back into this Victory Monday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. Couple things. I knew I was forgetting something. We didn't mention Ty on here, and we need to, right? 18 of 29, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, man. Got to tip your hat to that guy. Again, rough start, right? You could definitely sense that initially he wasn't comfortable. He was feeling the pressure of OU, right? They're all in his face in the backfield. They came up with sacks. They were making it hard for him early on. But the resiliency that he displayed, and I think he rubs off on the team. I mean, you can just sense that in this matchup, I keep talking about, hey, we need to see that resurgence of that confidence, right? That swagger. And I thought we saw that, especially as the game progressed. I thought it was noticeable that things almost slowed down for him. He started kind of, trusting his guys a little bit more, right? And we talk about, some of those explosives, right? Those big plays. Again, was he perfect in this game? No, but it definitely was a step in the right direction. Just seeing him being able to capitalize on things. We talk about it. When you can make a defense pay for being so aggressive. I mean, these guys blitz probably 60% of the time. We talk about there should be some opportunities. You just got to take those shots. You got to keep them honest. And I feel like we hadn't really threatened anybody vertical in the last few weeks at all. And it was making things very tough because defenses were able to kind of just, have their way with us. But this time around, man, we finally took those shots. I mean, there's that one to Horton. That was a beautiful ball by Ty on that one. Big play in the game. We talked about Jeremy Bernard's incredible catch that he had. Complete game-changing moment right there. Again, we haven't seen those plays in quite some time out of any of these guys. And I thought those, the fact that we had those come back to life in this game, I mean, that literally, if you want a chance to win big football games, you got to have those plays. It doesn't matter who it's coming from, whether it's Brooks, who also had another nice touchdown. He was a man. Bowens, man. Listen, Brooks is a special guy. And I know somebody brought up, I can't remember where I think somebody in the chat also mentioned too about, hey, man, we might need to start, reallocating some of this NIL money. And while people are kind of joking about that, I mean, the reality is, yeah, that's actually a fact because you got to think about it, man. And I think it was Pete Golden talking about this. Everybody's looking to establish value, whether it's coaches, players. And when you go out there and have big performances, you play some good football, and especially in big moments, man, you're establishing value. And best believe there's going to be people that are seeing what he's doing, and they're going to, I mean, his value's up. So just know, and we heard from Courtney Morgan and and that staff talk about that. Bill, those guys, excuse me, Bob, talking about, how they go about things with that. Best believe he's going to get taken care of. They're not going to let him walk. But that is an interesting conversation that we could talk about here in a minute. But I just wanted to go back and at least give some credit to Ty, because just seeing him kind of, take control, take command, slow things down, right? Trust his guys and make some big time throws when we needed it, man. I thought it was huge for this offense, and ultimately one of the biggest reasons why we were able to come back and make that effort to for being down 17-0 and going on a 27-0 run against a good defense. Which, let me say this too, because I've seen the narrative shift a little bit. Initially, it was, which I still believe is the case, Oklahoma has one of the best defenses in the country. That is true. Now, can they be a little inconsistent here and there? Sure. Just like, hell, we were probably the best defense year in and year out, statistically, nationally, all that good stuff. However, we still had some inconsistent moments. And so I don't think it's fair now that you have some of these pundits kind of walking back some of these things like, well, they did it against the Oklahoma team. I think Danny Cannell said it. They did it against an Oklahoma team that was, in his opinion, overrated. Now, to me, I'm like, nah. Listen, I've talked up Oklahoma's defense. I'm not going to be like these other people and I'll just try to say, oh, well, their defense is a little inconsistent at times. But to be fair, we also made some really good football plays in this game. Right? I mean, like we contributed to that. It's not like they're just magically, oh, well, they're not that good. No. I'm not rocking with that. I don't know why people are trying to, walk back some of that. No, Alabama's offense, who's been struggling the past month and some change, who struggled mightily in the first quarter, made some adjustments, did some things a little bit different, right? Our quarterback settled down. We took some shots. We hit on some shots. And look, we ended up making a comeback in that game, right? And that's all there is to it. I don't like how people are trying to change the narrative like, oh, well, Oklahoma's defense, they might have been a little overrated. No, they're a good unit. They're a really good defensive unit, no doubt about it. I just thought we stepped up to the challenge, and I thought some of that extra motivation that they had early on, I thought it started to die down a little bit. And I thought once we got down to the nitty gritty, because that's how football games work, man. It's a 60-minute game. I mean, especially when you're on the road, the home team. That's why I always talk about starting fast, trying to kill that crowd and that momentum as quick as possible, because then you really start finding out what teams are really made of. You can only ride all that juice and all that extra stuff for so long. Once that goes out the window, I mean, you just got to strap up play by play and actually beat somebody. And we just saw that Alabama was a better football team all around, right? And just finally got back to doing the things that we know we are capable of doing. So,
Christian, you mind if I ask you something real quick?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So, and maybe this is just me growing up as an Alabama fan, but why does it seem like, at least in my view, why is it that it's mostly Bama fans when we play a team like an Oklahoma defense that I still feel like is premier? They like before the game, they hype it up. But then once we like get the win and everyone else is like, well, yeah, they were overrated in general. Do you feel like that's just mainly us, or do you feel like that's other teams? Because at least just for me, I only see it when it happens to us.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, I'll say this. I think it definitely does feel like it normally goes against us a good bit. So I don't think you're necessarily wrong there. I think they do it with a lot of people, but it does feel like look, Alabama's always going to be like front and center. So whether it just feels like that or not, I mean, there always is going to be a lot of attention and talk about Alabama, whether it's good or bad. That said, this is how I would say, like, I will say this. Do I feel like all right, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I still think we have more meat on the bone. I still think we've got to play even better if we want to continue even deeper into the playoffs, right? Like, I wouldn't go as far as saying, like, as good as we looked outside of that first quarter against a good defense on the road, I still think there's some things that need to be even better that we've got to continue to clean up. But I don't think that merits saying, like, oh, well, going into the game, Oklahoma's defense was, heavily talked about, and then all of a sudden now they're not. No. That's not true. Now, if someone wants to say, like for example, that same clip that Danny Cannell was talking about, he said he thinks Alabama is a little bit of fool's gold. I would not go nearly as far as saying fool's gold. It's not fool's gold. I mean, listen, Alabama has shown that they can play at that level. Yes, it's been streaky because we had that middle part of the season where we were playing like that. I mean, people forget, like, at one point, people viewed Ty as a top quarterback in the country. This offense is being one of the most effective and efficient offenses, even with a lack of running game. So to me, it's just we saw flashes of that returning. Like, we were hitting on some of those explosive plays earlier on in the year. You know what I mean? Like, think back to Missouri. Like, we had big plays. Ty, making some incredible throws. Receivers making some incredible catches. I just think it was just we finally found that. We dug deep, right? I mean, our backs were against the wall. Hell, we were down 17-0. We didn't have anything to lose. Win or go home. And these guys, I thought they just found a way. Now, I thought the coaches did some things to help out, right? Again, the little muddle huddle stuff, just kind of getting to line of scrimmage, not letting Oklahoma adjust. I thought that was solid. And listen, again, I mean, I think one of the biggest difference really is just the execution. I mean, our guys stepped up and made big plays. And defensively, those adjustments from playing a lot of zone and going to man, which to me, I'm like, listen, if you got the players, if you got the talent, you should play more man, right? Just strap it up. Just like I feel like if you have the talent up front, you don't have to blitz as much. You have the luxury of dropping more guys in coverage and having a little bit more security on the back end. Why? Because you have good players. Let them go win their one-on-ones. Let them win their reps. Just run some games. So it depends on what your team is built on. And I think personally, I mean, we've got the talent. I mean, Xavier Brown, and he definitely is fine playing man. I think Dijon Lee and Damani are solid as well in that aspect. And I think you just got to trust your guys and let them go out there and be football players sometimes. But you always mix it up, and we'll talk about that. I mean, I was watching the tape. Some of the things they were doing early on in the game, like with a lot of that zone, looked like cover 6. Then to clarify, it was more of like an inverted cover 2, but doing some things. And Then like the call that we ran when with the pick six, I'll pull up that play here in a second, man. Really nice job by Kane Womack and then the disguise bar defense. They did a really good job. We were playing one thing a lot, and then we showed one look, and then post snap we get to something else, and it completely deceived John Mateer, which led to that pick six. So, I mean, that's how you play good defense, man. You got to make things tough for the opposing offense, because at the end of the day, I mean, you're reacting. They know what they're going to do. You're reacting, so you got to find advantages, right, the way that you can. And I think that's what we did. Let's do this. Let's hit a timeout to stay on schedule. I got the tape pulled up. We'll keep diving into it. I'm going to read the chat. That way we got questions. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We'll start reading them and talking about them when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
So you need last minute.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully we can get. We might have to wait till tomorrow for the offense, but if so, it's all good. Make sure you guys can see this. All right, bet. You want me to go through like these series, or do you want me just to jump to some of these certain plays? Y'all tell me. I can either just kind of run through it like play by play, series by series type deal, or we can just look at specific things. See, like they even had me fooled on some of the stuff that they're doing. Jump to stuff. All right, well, just tell me what to jump to. Third down conversions. See, like even like what they're doing here, like I'm not gonna lie, they even had me fooled because a lot of it to me looked like cover six, but then ended up being more of like invert two, but it looked like they were only doing it playing it to one side of the field. All right, y'all want me to jump around? Let's see. This is them just running, flip the back, run a zone read. just simple little things that we got to clean up here. I mean, you got two guys. Deontay's jumping out for the quarterback here, but then you also got Yanze out there. Probably has something to do with when they flipped that back. Either one of them probably was still playing something like the back was on the other side. Regardless, you got two guys in that C gap right there, nobody in that B gap. So just little stuff to clean up. See, but we were running so much of this, like you'll see what I'm talking about. This is what I think they're playing is like invert two. To me, it looks like cover six. I just think you got the safety as a middle runner. Oh, whoops. And welcome back into this Victory Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. All right. I want to see, do we have any questions to hit? I know we got this tape pulled up, and we'll jump through here in a minute. Since you guys want specific stuff, just tell me what you guys want to look at or what you want us to break down, and we'll pull it up. And then just remind me also where in the game it happened, or like what, like I guess, quarter. That way we can kind of jump around a little bit. Why don't we start with this question? Because I feel like this is a very interesting topic, and a lot of people are talking about it. Number one, Ryan Williams, we talked about him a little bit, but it's evident, right? I mean, he's definitely, he's struggling a little bit this season. I think he leads FBS in drops. We know the playmaker that he's capable of being, but we just haven't really seen that. And I think a lot of it it's contributed to the drops, but I mean, there's a number of things. I mean, he played a little bit of slot earlier on in the year, still, moving around a little bit. He's been injured, so he's been out, coming back in, and then as of recent, he hadn't had as many targets, and then still kind of dealing with some drops. But it leads to the conversation that everybody's having right now, because you got a true freshman in Latia Brooks, who's been stepping up tremendously, and he was the best receiver in this game. By far. I mean, he led the team with 5 receptions, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that first catch that he made, kind of bailing Ty out, is a little underthrown, turning around, coming up big, and then the 4th and 2 conversion, the other touchdown that he had on Bowens. I mean, he's been stepping up big. Reed, I'm curious, man. There's a lot of talk right now. People are saying, "Hey, man, like all that NIL money they're paying to Ryan, man, they need to break some off and pay Latzia Brooks." What do you make of that whole conversation? Because I'll say this: number one, I'm not pocket watching. I'm not saying take money from a kid. I'm not saying that, but I also understand that we're about as close to being, I guess, the NFL as we've ever been. I mean, we're literally seeing reports and articles that come out that say so and so has agreed to a new deal. So and so is in talks for a new deal, and they're talking about college players. I just saw somebody like A&M had a wide receiver who's now the highest paid wide receiver. You know what I mean? So there is I mean, there's truth to the aspect of, hey, you have to manage these resources because with the new rules, I know we haven't talked about it in a while, but you've got revenue sharing, but then you still also have the whole NIL thing, which to me, it just makes no sense. They come up with the whole NIL Go thing that means you have to get these deals approved. I don't understand how a team like LSU is sitting there saying, "Oh, we're going to give Lane Kiffin up to 20 million or whatever in NIL resources." Like, I mean, how is that even getting cleared from the NIL Go thing? To me, that makes no sense how we're still able to do that. That said, you do have to manage your resources and you have to be smart about allocating it. It's literally just like being a GM of an NFL team and having a salary cap. What is your thoughts, Reed, when you hear this stuff about Ryan Williams saying, "Oh, well, maybe we need to talk about a pay cut," or whatever the case may be, knowing that, listen, I mean, this guy has all the potential in the world. We all know that. But it is all two things can be true. He's struggling right now, and we've got a number of other guys who are going to be deserving, right? It's like Latzia Brooks. Let's just use him because it's a prime example. I mean, let's just be honest. He's outplaying Ryan Williams right now. That's not a shot at Ryan Williams. That's just we're just being completely honest. He's being outplayed by Latzia Brooks. I mean, do you think this is kind of a stretch that some people are saying, "Hey, we need to look at giving giving Ryan a pay cut," or do you think it's warranted at this point?
Well, first thing I want to notice is like the whole thing that you referenced about like this person comes out and signs a new deal to return to the team. That is just blowing my mind. I mean,
Yeah.
what like if you would have told me that 5 years ago that in the offseason people are having to sign new deals in order to return to that team, I mean that's just crazy. But to get to your point, it's actually funny you mentioned that. I talked to a buddy last night around 11 p.m. and he was asking me that same exact question. He was like, "Hey man, you know, with how Brooks played, how are they going to do the whole NIL thing?" And it got me thinking, and I'm like, and I mean, of course I'll answer it, but I'll kind of flip it back to you as well. If you were in Ryan Williams' shoelace, or like let's just say you as a player, right? Your freshman year, you start out, okay, you're getting multiple pressures, good amount of sacks, right? They're like, yeah, this guy's like future, you know, first round draft pick. And then coming to your sophomore year, you hit like a slump, you get a boulder in the road, and you like the production just goes down, you know? How I would go about it, I mean, it's tough. It's tough because I would almost have to keep it straightforward of like, hey, look, you know, credit, you did great your freshman year. And not to say that you aren't deserving of this, but he stepped up, you know?
Yeah.
But how would you, like, as a player and a former player, like, receive that news of, hey, this other guy that's younger than you, you know, his freshman year, he started out and he's out beating you in your sophomore kind of slump. And you know what I mean? Like, how would you take that?
Well, here's the thing. I'm a very honest and realistic person. So if the guy behind me was playing better than me, like say this we'll use me as an example and say my sophomore year after having 10 sacks, my sophomore year, I've got 1.5, and the freshman that they brought in, he's gone off for like 7. If they came to me and they told me, "Hey man," and because they're paying, listen, I mean, I don't know the specific numbers, but according to On3, they had Ryan as what, making, I think, 7 figures, if I'm not mistaken. I think Ryan was up in like the 7-figure. Again, I'm not trying to pocket watch. This is all public knowledge that it was reported. And we don't know how true it is. We're just going off of that. Regardless, he was the highest paid, I think, like in the SEC, or one of them at least. Might not be the case anymore after A&M just did their deal, which again, it's like I agree with you. It's crazy we're talking about that in college. But to me, I would say, listen, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like in the league, but see, this is why it's different in the NFL. In the NFL, I mean, like you're signed, like people are signed to different contracts to different lengths, so it doesn't work exactly the same. But that's why it's a little interesting in college because every year, I mean, technically, a player can just go back with their representation and say, "Hey, and go put on the desk of that coach or whoever, the GM. Hey, look, this is our client, this is our player. He did this, that, and the third. He's got these offers now." In the NFL, it don't work like that. I mean, you don't. I mean, if you're under contract, you're under contract. Now, sometimes there's situations in the NFL where somebody can pressure a team into giving them an extension or something. But other than that, nah, if you're signed, you're signed. But to answer your question, man, listen, I think listen, I feel like at the end of the day, I mean, like Ryan definitely has that potential, and we know how special he can be. So I think it just depends on your view on it, right? I mean, does this staff want to bet on, hey, man, this guy probably will return to form at some point, and he's just going through a slump, or do they look at it as, hey, man, he's kind of eating into our stuff right now, and we'd like for him to take a little bit of a cut. I'm trying to think if I think didn't there's another quarterback. I think a quarterback took a cut. Was it Arch Manning? I feel like Arch Manning.
Yes, I think it was him. But I think now that I think about it a little bit more, Christian, I think the question more is so if we do not like not necessarily taking away from Ryan Williams, but if we don't, let's just say Brooks wants like a new quote unquote deal or whatever.
Listen, I don't even think it's a matter of if. I don't even think it's him. I'm telling you right now, because these guys have agents. Like there's legit agents. I'm telling you right now, whoever represents Brooks, they're already going to be working that for him.
So yeah, so when like if we don't match or give him kind of what they're like what his agent's wanting, some other team just might, and I think that's that's an issue that we're gonna have to kind of go head on when the time comes.
But and that's a great point, and that's why it does actually come up to the question that you might have to respectfully ask somebody to take a pay cut. Because think about it, I mean, somebody's going to be like you just mentioned, offering Brooks whatever, right? You're going to have to up that, so it's got to come from somewhere. Because with the revenue sharing, there's only so much. Again, it's like a cap. Now, this is why I think it shouldn't be as much of a problem as some people might anticipate. There are genuine NIL deals, and Ryan Williams is probably one of like when it comes to college football and guys, actually having true NIL. I mean, his marketability is up there with the rest of them. So, say you decrease maybe what he's getting from like the revenue sharing standpoint, he's still going to be being paid handsomely from all of the other actual NIL deals, regardless if he's got a little bit of a slump going on right now or not. I mean, the dude's still on the cover of NCAA. The dude's still doing all time Nike deals, all type of stuff. So, and plus, we're not talking. We ain't even got to the point where I mean, the dude clearly loves Alabama. I mean, I remember from his recruitment, that was the whole thing. I mean, it seemed like he was always Alabama through and through. So, that said, it definitely is an interesting conversation. I know I probably just kind of said a whole lot of nothing, but I guess my point is, if you have to do something like that, so be it. But I don't even want to get in the conversation like, oh, if you had to make a choice between one or the other, that's tough. I mean, I'll let you guys answer that. I don't even know where you go from there because that's a tough decision. But I don't know. We'll do this. Let's hit a top hour break. You guys think about that. How would you guys play out that situation if you guys were the GM and you had to manage this whole roster and you're looking at it and you're like, hey, we got one guy who's our highest paid guy on our team, and right now he's just not producing the way neither us or he probably anticipated. Then we got some young up and comers that are clearly some special talents, man. And they're still on their quote unquote, what is called rookie deals. And we know they're going to be expecting, maybe not them themselves, but their representatives, they're going to be expecting something. How would you handle that? Let us know. 205-342-9904. We come back after this top hour break. We keep breaking this down. We got the tape up. We'll keep answering y'all's questions. We'll keep rolling all that right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC. Yeah, y'all let me know what y'all would do in that situation, man. Courtney Morgan said that when players do good, they spend a lot of money on retention. Exactly. Yeah, great point. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's going to get paid, but again, the money's got to come from somewhere. And so if you have a guy that plays the same position who's one of the highest paid guys, I mean, not saying you have to maybe deduct something from there, but Bach is the only one I see leaving right now. Oh yeah, I would be shocked if he ended up staying. I hate to say it like that, but maybe I should just take Clint's approach. Remember, Clint said he don't like necessarily putting that out there. But I'm just saying, looking at a guy who, he hadn't seen hardly any snaps, and the fact that I didn't even realize Horton still has eligibility. So really, you're talking about Jeremy Bernard is probably the only one, unless Horton decides to leave. But I feel like Horton might come back. Then you got Meadows, who's seen a lot of snaps. You got Brooks. Oh yeah, Rico Scott. Thank you, Ricky. Yeah, I forgot about Rico. Germ's gone, so I can see him getting his piece of pie. But also Ryan makes a lot of money from Nike and others. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was saying, like, I think if they went to Ryan and said they needed to deduct some, not I shouldn't say deduct, but what is it called? Like reduce some of that. I thought he'd probably be fine with it. And again, I hate talking about it like this because I don't want to seem like I'm over here like, oh man, we need to. No. It was a conversation that I've been seeing. I just was kind of curious. It's a good talking point, man. Because that's where we're at with college football nowadays, man. And I know we can all agree on one thing: Lancier needs to get paid. He's earned it. He deserves it. And if you want to retain him, you got to do that. So we can all agree there. It's just, I guess, the next step is. Dude broke his leg. Wait, that dude that broke his leg was real good. Who are you talking about? I repeat, Ryan Williams is still the second leading receiver on the team. The fact people ignore that is hilarious. Tia, you got to put your bias to the side. I know that's your guy. I like him too. He's a great kid. That's why I'm saying, I feel bad kind of talking about some stuff, but listen, it's sports radio talk. Tia's correct. Even if he's still second leading receiver on the team. Yeah, that's definitely something to consider. But let me ask you guys again. We're talking about the amount that he's making. I'm not saying let the guy walk. I never said that. That's why I said I don't agree with people that are saying that. But that said, do you let's just be honest. Take y'all's bias aside. With the production that he's had this year, I think it's a very valid question to talk about. Maybe, considering. Reducing some of that because you got to remember that eats into what you can give other guys.
Two-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian.
You know what I mean?
Taking him down.
It's not a pick on Ryan. It's just there's only so much money.
Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome back into this Victory Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. We're breaking down this 34-24 victory over Oklahoma, talking a little bit about some hypotheticals, right? In terms of putting our GM caps on and playing out how we would handle some of these situations, some of these, probably conversations, Reed, we should call them, because they're going to be coming up, right? And they probably might already be happening, but hopefully these guys are still locked in on the mission at hand, and that comes at a later time. But that being said, hour number 2 officially underway. We already kind of broke down, at least, I guess, verbally, our thoughts from the game. Again, Alabama down 17. The story of the game was almost an inverse of what happened last time. Oklahoma outgained us, but we capitalized on some costly mistakes on their end, made some big plays when we needed it most, came back from a 17-0 start to go on a 27-0 run. And, hey, the rest was history, man. We were able to close things out in Norman, third time's the charm, and we're heading on to the Rose Bowl, where we're going to face the Heisman Trophy winner, Mendoza. How do you pronounce it? Is it Fernando?
Fernando Mendoza.
For some reason, I was like, wait, Fernando? Fernando Mendoza. So I've always just said Mendoza, so I forgot the exact pronunciation of his first name. We'll face the Heisman Trophy winner. We'll face a former Bama coach in Cignetti. Then we'll also be facing my former high school teammate, John Miller, right? And the reason I say that is, no, he's not on the roster. He's on the staff. My teammate from high school, cool story, is the running backs coach for Indiana right now. And we're close, really close. We're not family. We got the same last name. But John broke, numerous rushing records at Spring Valley High School. I hold the sack record in probably every category. Not to brag on myself, but it is pretty cool to be able to say it. Single season sacks, single game sacks, career sacks with 38, 24 in a season, then 5 in a game. Anyway, John Miller was like, that dude on the offensive side of the football, and he broke a lot of rushing records. He's now their running backs coach. So really cool that we'll be playing against him and his guys. I love to get him on the show. Now, I don't know how their staff handles that, letting coaches speak to media, especially the team that they're playing, but I would love to chop it up with them. So maybe we'll see if we can work on that. But anyway, 205-342-9904. I promise I'm going to get back into more in depth of this breakdown on this tape, but just make sure you guys tell me exactly where to go. That way we can try to skip around. But first, let's go to the phone lines. We got Smitty up first. Smitty, welcome in.
How's it going, Christian?
Man, I can't complain, brother. How's everything?
Well, besides the fact my Bucks are blowing the division, everything is all right. Hey,
all that talking you were doing too, man. All that talking you were doing too, bro.
Hey, man. Hey. All I got to say is they can blame Ty Bowles for 0 blitz before the half, but common sense to tell the cornerback don't let the guy run behind you when that's the only play they can run. Anyway, and but they want. That's why I hate when folks blame coaches and everything. Players got to have some common sense as well, And this is another case of guys in the NFL. You can't give up on these young quarterbacks so soon. And Bryce has been playing well. But if you get rid of these guys, you know how it is. When you want to get rid of folks, who's the next guy? You got to start over again. But about the game, Kyle did something I've been saying for weeks. Just throw it up on a 50-50 ball. Give you guys a chance to get a flag. If it's an interception, so be it. Because if you're scared to turn the ball over, you're no good to anybody. You're Kirk Cousins throwing shorter sticks on 4th down the season, or you Aaron Rodgers, who's a great QB, but he's always been too careful. And you got to steal him. And I just think that sometimes you just got to let it rip because, yes, a run game could open things up, but the willingness to chuck it deep will also open things up as well because they know you're going to take that shot. And look what happened. It opened things up. And the receivers actually made plays. And they caught the ball. And I'll say this real quick. Everybody loves to talk about Ryan Williams. We're in the playoffs. We got to roll with who is catching the ball. We'll worry about all this stuff in January. Yeah. I know that sounds mean, but you can't afford to work on somebody's confidence when you go against the number 1 team in the country. You got to just – it ain't no knock on them. You get what I'm saying? Ain't no knock on them. You just got to roll with Brooks and Horton, who dropped the big one in the first quarter, and Bernard.
Yeah.
And y'all talk the NIL stuff. NIL is different than the rev share. And this is possibly, now I don't think Ryan is transferring, but this is the downside of everybody wanting to sign 1-year deals because the school could back off and say, hey, yeah, I need you to take a little bit off the top here, take a haircut. And that's why some of these guys do transfer. But it's not fair to someone like Brooks, who actually, we've been honest, kind of outplayed Ryan all year long. We'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And, to say, no, we can't give you an increase because we got to still pay this guy that. Now, maybe you can work it out. But I just think that Ryan just has to work on his fundamentals this offseason. You got to catch with your hand. And you got to work on your route running as well.
And then that's what I kept trying to say. Like, last year when my dad and I were talking about when he was coming into college, like those are the things that, like, when everybody was like, oh man, well, you see what he's doing in high school in the Under Armour game. That's what we kept saying. Like, that's great, but you have to see how it translates. And listen, last year, don't get me wrong. I mean, he surprised me for sure. I mean, those plays he made. I mean, he made some big plays. He made some big time catches, and just seeing him with the ball after the catch. I mean, he's one of the best when it comes to that ability. That said, though, at this level, I mean, you can't be a one-trick pony, right? You got to be able to do all those things if you want to have success. And that's why I've always said, like, when I watch on tape, I mean, personally, I feel like, there could be more from him when it comes to his routes, right? We already know the drops thing that's got to get cleaned up. But I think it's a matter of if he can just get his confidence back, clean up his fundamentals. I mean, he'll go back to being one of the top receivers. I have faith in that, but also understand, like you said, that's how everybody does things, right? Everybody does the 1-year deal thing because they want to keep coming back to get more and more. But this is kind of the negative side of that, where again, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I know we got Tia and folks. I know. I always try to protect the players, and that's why I'm not like going in on anybody. I just think it's a fair conversation because I don't think it would be an issue if Alabama respectfully asked to maybe do some type of little pay cut. Arch Manning did it, right? We see NFL quarterbacks do it. Why do they do it? Sometimes it has nothing to do with their play. It has everything to do with they want to be able to get more guys. And if you guys want to continue to recruit at a high level, it might not be ideal to have so much money tied up into one player, let alone, when you have other players at the same position that are producing, and they're going to need to be compensated. That's just a fact. So I think it's an interesting conversation. I haven't given up on Ryan. I think I think he's going to come back to life, and I'm with you, though. I don't think you need to force things to him. I know I said you got to find ways to give him the football. That doesn't mean just keep, throwing the ball 9 times a game right now when you got guys like Brooks. But no, you always feed the hot hand. However, if there's ways you can get him on jet sweeps or screen game or just running, rub routes that you can set him up, let him run a quick whip route like we saw in Georgia, just, quick little throws, things that we know, what I'm saying, he can do. Then with the ball in his hands, he's special. I'm definitely an advocate for doing that, but I'm with you too, though. I mean, if you got Brooks, who's hot, you got Horton and Bernard, whichever one, is really feeling it, or it could be him. You always lean into that. So that's my thought on that.
And the one thing I will say is that part of sacks is a quarterback stat, and I was yelling at the TV when Ty went, everybody, why you go 5 wide? And I think the TV did a great job of highlighting that the play was supposed to go to Quavis, but Ty never looked this way. And the defender said, the tight end split up. You all know that. You know that you play. Oh, they're going to split the tight end out on my side. Oh, I'm coming. And Ty didn't see that. And maybe we could have got a touchdown there. And that's something he has to work on as well. Make sure he sees everything. Because that's a play right there. And, but I know it's hard for a certain section of Alabama fans to say, Kay and the board did a good job. It's okay for people to say that, because the thing is, we've seen teams quit all year long, and some in the SEC who hired new coaches. It would have been easy for this team to fold the tent. They didn't quit against Georgia. They just got their butts kicked. Let's just be real. They tried, and that happens. But this game, they didn't quit. They didn't roll over. They made adjustments. Everybody cries about no adjustments. Guess what? Kane Woman made adjustments. The offense made adjustments, how they went with the quick huddles and stuff like that. And it ended up working. And I think what happens is that it shows this team is not soft. They are tough because of being in that place where everybody in the world wants you to lose. You got media members openly wanting you to lose, wanting your coach to leave. And they circled the wagons and said, no, we're not losing this game. And they dominated after that first quarter because most of Oklahoma yards came in that first quarter. That shows a lot about the resolve of this team and how the leadership of this coaching staff and how tough they are. And I know people love saying, oh, West Coast, West Coast. Those are Southern teams led by Southern coaches who quit in the SEC this year. It's all about being a leader. And I think that shows that they have the right guy. It may not be pretty. It may not be 2015. But they are one game away from a semifinal against a team they can beat. Well, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. It's my opinion. Do I think they win a national title? No. But I like the fact that they ain't quitting. They're fighting. They make it a run. Because there's playing in the league. You just want to get in the dance and see what happens, let the chips fall there, mate.
Yeah. I mean, that's – and once you get in in the playoffs or on that level, man, I mean, anything can happen. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, personally, when I look at this team, I think we're still, a little bit behind a team maybe like Ohio State or even Indiana.
Yeah.
But, again, it's the playoffs, and we know anything can happen. I mean, listen, it happens all the time. So, if we can find a way to continue to build off of what we saw in the I guess the 2.5, 3 quarters in this game outside the first quarter, listen, I think this team is good enough to play with just about anybody, but I think it requires us to be like literally on our A game, meaning we're able to hit those shots like you talked about, right? You're seeing guys come up with catches that like Bernard, right? That they probably shouldn't make, just like Oklahoma. Think about how many times their guys made those plays on the sideline. Like those are the type of plays you have to have if you want to win playoff games. And defense has to continue to keep bowing up, playing strong, and building off of what they're doing. They're doing a really nice job as well. And I'm with you, man. I just, to me, the adjustments alone made me feel great just seeing like, all right, that's one of the biggest differences from this year than last year. Last year, we didn't see these types of adjustments, especially on the defense side of things. This year, we're coming out, we're playing a lot of soft zone, not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They get more aggressive. They bring pressure. They switch to playing a lot more man coverage, and it made a world's difference with that Oklahoma offense, who had a lot of success in that first quarter. Outside of that, they didn't have much going for them. They still had him. That receiver did make a play or two, and they did miss an opportunity, that one where Mateer was rolling out. He probably could have ran for the first down, and he tried to hit the thing. It was his running back. It was wide open. He had a drop. That wasn't, an error on Mateer's part. You can't really blame. Yes, you could argue to take the first down, but when you got a free guy running down the field for an easy touchdown,
you got to throw it.
Yeah, I mean that's that guy's fault. That's not on Mateer, but anyway, defense played much better. Got pressure on the quarterback finally, and listen, I think when we play like that, we can play with about anybody. But I'm with you, man. I think some people are kind of sleeping on Indiana just because I think they're still caught up on looking at the logo. Yeah, they're one of the best overall teams. They might not come off as like elite when you watch them, but they do a lot of stuff really well. And I think they're probably one of the most complete teams, if not the most, in the country. Then watch them play Ohio State, man. I mean, Mendoza, good football player. I mean, he doesn't make a whole bunch of mistakes. So that's why I'm saying we're going to have to be on our A game, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But no, I agree with you, man. You're right. And I'm excited to see what we can do with the next opportunity, Smitty.
Yeah, and the thing is, my dad always says each game has to be played. And I know they're a 7-point favorite. Hey, that's cool. Doesn't bother me. I think that's great for us, motivation-wise, because they pretty much say they're going to whoop your butts there. But the thing is also, this young defense, and I've been saying it, is the most improved unit in the country from where they started off. And and you could tell those boys are hungry. And even though I know that Keeley sacked, even though it was like unblocked, the thing I looked at was his closing speed. That's the thing you look at. And you got a lot of young guys like Kelby Collins, and Noah Carter making it happen, along with Yonze Pierre, and Tim Keenan looks healthy. And we got a good DB room. And I think if we beat this team, it's our defense. And I'll leave you with this. They say my call as always, man, Daniel Hill played his butt off, but man, we gotta get some more speed in that run attack room. but he did his job though, because he did a good job of what he had. He caught the ball fine. He got good runs when he needed to be, hit the hole. Even though he wasn't the fastest guy, but he hit the hole and got in for that touchdown. And I thought our offensive line played well considering the amount of time Oklahoma blitzed. Because when you blitz that many people, somebody's going to get through. But I thought they did a good enough job. And the most important thing, how Taylor and the boys done a good job. We ain't had too many of these crazy double-digit penalty games in months. And I don't know how many penalties they had Friday, but I knew it probably wasn't even 5. And that shows this team is locked in, they're disciplined, and they're not beating themselves. But hey, if we lose this game to Indiana, it's gonna be because they're just a better team, not because we beat ourselves. And I look forward to it. But thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, Smitty. Good deal. We're going to hit a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Kalen DeBoer. He's speaking to the media right now, live as we speak, but we'll be a minute or two behind because we're going to hit a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach after beating Oklahoma in the first round of the college football playoffs, 34-24 on the road. Biggest comeback, I think, at least in the playoff system, if I'm not mistaken. And first ever head coach to win a playoff game on the road. We'll hear from him when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Looking for a new car, truck, or SUV? Now is the time to buy. The year-end sale is here.
All right, before we get to that, because I see y'all are talking about the whole thing. Ricky and all you guys, man. Listen, I promise it's not a personal thing. Again, I like Ryan. He's a good dude. It's just a genuine question because we're in a day and age where there literally is a salary cap in college football. And if you have somebody making that much money, because I know you mentioned, oh, well, Pritchett had drops, Cuevas had drops. Are they making seven figures? Are they like the highest paid player on the team? So there's going to be a different level of quote, number one, criticism from the media. And number two, listen, there's going to be higher expectations. Those guys aren't making that much money, bro. Like, again, y'all got to take y'all's bias out of it for him as a person. We love Ryan, right? I just told you guys, I'm not giving up on him, but it's a very valid question to say when you got a guy like Brooks stepping up. I mean, like that guy's going to be his value is much higher now. You got to pay him. London Simmons, his value is much higher. You're going to have to pay him. Now I get it. You got guys moving on, so like Tim Keene and these other guys. So I guess I get that there's other ways about it, but Arch Manning took a cut. I mean, like it's not like a personal thing. I don't think it's a personal thing at all. I mean, you can look at it from any aspect. I mean, just take football out of it. I mean, if you're paying somebody on your payroll for a whole nother thing, I ain't never taken bias out of it. That's the problem, though, man. Like we do things around here. We take the bias out of it. I mean, I protect guys, but I mean, I don't want to be making points from a bias standpoint. I don't like that. Y'all are fine to do what y'all want. Personally, I can't do that. You don't feel love, to be honest. You don't feel love about what? About Ryan? You're saying, wait, I will spend as much other people's money as. What do you mean you don't feel love? I'm saying, like, just because we talk about this, I mean, it has nothing to do with the people. You know what I mean? Like, at all. People ain't grow up like Arch Man and he can afford to take a. Tia, come on, man. Now you really tripping right now. That this guy is worth seven figures right now at 18, 19 years old. Nobody's saying like, oh man, we're gonna go from paying them seven figures to $100,000. I'm saying though, but if you can maybe shave off $200,000-$300,000, you realize most people on y'all don't even understand like how little most of our guys actually make. I think everybody thinks that all our guys just make like $600,000-$700,000. Dude, you got a lot of starters on this team that actually play a lot of meaningful snaps and contribute to this team that aren't even making over 150. And I say even 150. I'm not saying, listen, for a college student, that's a lot of money, but I'm saying compared to a lot of these other guys, other places, we don't like we got a lot of guys that aren't making as much as y'all think.
Tide 100.9. It's 64 degrees in
Ryan
Tuscaloosa.
grew up, brother. If he listen, if he can't afford to take a couple $100,000 shaved off at 18, 19 years, come on, man. What are we talking about? Come on, man. And welcome back into this Victory Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art support experts. All right, I'm done talking for a minute. We're going to go to the head coach, Kalen DeBoer, who's currently speaking to the media right now as he previews the next matchup in the next round, where we'll take on Indiana in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, you bet. Good afternoon. And
wait, Coach, 1 second. We're gonna start the webinar. Just 1 second, okay?
Yep.
Coach, I'll start the webinar and just give a quick opening, and then we'll go right into you, okay? Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's head coach teleconference for the college football playoff quarterfinal of the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. I'm Karen Lindenhart, the Rose Bowl game's marketing and media director. We'll be joined first today by Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer. Following Coach DeBoer's session, we'll have a 15-minute break before we are joined by Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti. The call will remain live during that time. Coach DeBoer, I'll let you start with an opening remark.
Yeah, good afternoon. Just excited about this opportunity to be in the Rose Bowl, special event and big time game. I know our guys are excited. We got 15 California football players on our team that are excited to go play closer to home and even more from the West Coast. So that's one piece of it, but obviously the game itself and what it means and our opportunity to continue to take the next step. But we understand we got a great football team with Indiana. Coach Signetti, just what he's done is amazing here these last 2 years. Just building the program as quickly as he's done to the level it's at. And really looking forward to us diving back into our process here the next, 10 days or so, just getting back to work. Really important days. I thought we did a great job from the SEC championship to the first round game in a lot of ways, whether it's the preparation. I got to give a tip of the hat to our training staff and our doctors, Jeff Allen, who runs our training room downstairs with his staff. An amazing job just putting people together and getting guys as healthy as they could have. Dr. Kane, Dr. Waldrop, Dr. Stewart. We just got a top tier group, and I know there's even more, but just everything they did to get our guys to where they played fast and we're as healthy as we've been in a long time. So need that again here the next 10 days. On the speed part, I mean, our guys, Coach Ballou, I need to give him credit to, our head strength coach. We had as many guys hit their top speeds as we have since the Tennessee game, and that's tied for the most over 20 miles an hour, all year. So it's great to have more players playing fast in the big moments, but looking forward to the challenge. Our guys are as well.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now open up the teleconference for questions. Please raise your hand to ask a question using the raise hand icon within Zoom. If and when your question is selected, please unmute your microphone and state your name and media outlet before asking your question. Once your question has been answered, your microphone will be muted and your hand will be lowered. Our first question comes from Nicole Auerbach.
Hey, Kaylin, it's Nicole Auerbach from NBC Sports. I wanted to ask, just with you and Curt Signetti in this matchup, got me thinking about just the unique paths that you both took to become head coaches at places like Alabama and Indiana. And I wonder how your path and all the different stops and all the levels of college football helped prepare you to lead a program at the highest level with all that's changing in college football today.
Yeah. Just knowing Coach Signetti and you referred to it, his path, nothing but respect. Again, how he's done it, how he's gotten to this spot. A lot of work goes into it. I think coming back to your question, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I think there's things that you do that give you an appreciation for the moment you're in, having an opportunity to be here at Alabama. But I also think there's moments that you go through. I mean, with the playoffs the way they are, and us having to go 4 rounds, been through that many, many years, whether it was as an assistant or as a head coach, going back to Sioux Falls days. And then I think building a staff and, having the network and the contacts has helped me surround people with a lot of knowledge, but also the right type of people to help lead you, especially in today's day and age of college football and building a team. And, I think all of it goes into just being built for these moments that come. But I've been really blessed. I've been blessed to be around a lot of great coaches who have mentored me along the way, that I've taken things from to be able to be successful in the moments that we're in now.
Our next question will come from Jeff Rabjohns.
Hey, Coach. How you doing? Jeff Rabjohns, Peaks.com here. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. As far as the game goes, Indiana's rushing attack has been really productive, even though, Mendoza won the Heisman, has been the kind of guy getting more attention. I'd like your thoughts from a coaching chair. What makes Indiana's running game good, and how good do you feel Indiana's offensive line has been and is playing going into this game?
Yeah, still diving into it, but a thing that jumps out at me, just with kind of the first glance here the last day or so, is how well they work together, the offensive line in particular, and just everyone being in sync. They're always moving forward, and on the opposite end, the defense, has the tackles for losses and is physical as well. So, but I just think that, with obviously Mendoza and winning the Heisman, I mean, that doesn't happen by accident. You put a whole season of film together of games and stringing them each and every week, and you end up undefeated because a trigger man can make some plays and do his thing at an extremely high level. I just, look at their skill around the offensive line. They just all complement each other. They go make plays. when the opportunities are there, they get it done. And there's great coaching that you can see to put them in spots to succeed. But also the guys, you can see they play with a swagger, with a confidence, and as they should with the success they've had.
Our next question comes from Nick Hamilton.
Hey, Coach. First of all, congratulations on making the Rose Bowl. Also want to ask you, just how have you seen your defense grow exponentially since playing in the SEC, and now you guys are in the CFP, gaining a victory at Oklahoma, and now you're playing in the Rose Bowl. What are some of the traits that you've seen along the way that giving your team even more confidence?
Well, I think there was a point, it was early in the season where our guys defensively just kind of kept taking those steps, and through conference play, got the turnovers in big moments that helped us win games. The stops that were needed, forcing field goals, and I think that continued to breed a kind of a belief at a high level, and they've been able to do it different ways. And the first quarter maybe wasn't our best quarter, but they were fighting and coming off the field, ready to solve problems, to come up with solutions, whether that's the coaching staff or our players. I know that our whole team is going to fight, but you're asking about the defense in particular. I know that they went out there. They're very, proud of what they've accomplished, and, really did a nice job as the game went along of making adjustments to get more pressure on the quarterback, to obviously come up with an interception for a touchdown, just continue to play. And the game came back to us. We talk about that as a program, but the game came back to us because everyone just continued to stay the course, and forced them, even when they got into our territory, to force field goals. And that's a mindset, that no matter where you step on the football field, you're just going to play that play to the best of your ability. And our guys do that.
Our next question comes from Zachary Osterman.
Hi, Kalen. Thanks for making the time. Hope all's well your way. I imagine you haven't sort of deep dived into Indiana just the last few years, but I'm curious. You were around here at a time when this program was really emphasizing investment in football and really sort of trying to be bold about, sort of dreaming bigger and pushing the boat out farther. As you've sort of, in what you have been able to see of Coach Cignetti, do you see more of that basically kind of the impact of a place really investing in a way that says we want to be more competitive in football and we're going to be really proactive about it?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, I do pay attention just because it's a place I've been, and pay a little more attention. I can't say, you're worried about your own place and where you're at, but I felt like when we were there that there was a growth and an investment that was happening, and there was success that in 19 when I was there that felt like you were getting over the hump, and that extended to the next season as well. But there's certainly, Coach Cignetti's done a great job providing the spark, which, really it leads to people continue to be all in. And as you get more people all in, you get the moments that you're in right now. And so I think it works off of each other, the energy and the commitment to the success, working hand in hand with the people that are there. So, nothing but a great time there that I had. It was short-lived, but one that I remember my family as well.
Our next question comes from Kennington Smith.
Hey, Coach DeBoer, hope you're doing well. I actually have two questions, if I may. The first is about Bray Hubbard. Obviously, his play against Florida State garnered negative attention, and we get to the end of the season, he's an All-American. How have you seen him just progress throughout the season, and maybe what type of lesson is there, how he started and kind of how he's finished up the season?
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, Bray, he is who he is. I know he was super disappointed, as well as many guys were, with week one, with the production. I would never really question how important it is to him. It means so much to play at a high level, but even more to do it with his teammates. He's a team guy, and he's just continued to lead us. It doesn't matter if it's on the field, off the field. He's a top tier person, first of all. And, I think the work ethic he brings is something that, trickles on to the rest of the guys. And, he takes it upon himself to make sure that, yes, the unit that's on the field, the ones, the twos, that they're playing at a high level, held to the standard, but he also cares about it trickling down to the players who are going to be the future here too. And he's an extremely hard player. He's a playmaker in the big moments. You've seen him end up with the ball in his hands, interceptions, at critical times. And he's going to come down in the box. He can play out in space. Just does a lot of things for us that are really important to our success defensively.
Yeah, and then Xavier Brown, you kind of mentioned big plays. That's kind of been his story since he's been at Alabama. What has allowed him to meet those moments? And then, also just kind of what type of opportunity is it for him and, other guys who are from California to get a chance to go back there and play in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, ZB he's been, you can call it the right place, but I think you make your own breaks too. And, there's times where, you happen to be in the right spot, but there's also times where you put the footwork in, and I see what he does with his film study. I see what he does on the football field in practice, whether it's technically, just how important it is for him to be on the same page with the guys around him so he can take those, I don't want to call them, they're calculated risks, or have an aggressiveness about him to go make the plays, knowing where his help's at pre-snap, while the play's happening. He's a really heady player, and obviously a great athlete and playmaker. And so I think for him, as well as all these guys going out to California, it's just a really cool moment for them. They're just such great kids. They're not kids, but young men, whose families have to travel a long ways each and every week. And this time they get to return the favor back to their families and go out there and play in front of them, and as well as many friends that I'm sure will be at the game.
We have time for one more question. Our last question will come from Mike Schumann.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Mike Schumann of the Daily Hoosier. Wanted to ask you about Kane. He was obviously there at Indiana with you, and I'm just curious, like, what was it about him? I'm assuming his time at Indiana played a heavy influence on you wanting to bring him on board at Alabama. What stood out? Is there anything about his time at Indiana that really stands out to you? And I guess also just like, what's it like for all you guys? I know there's a lot of IU guys, former IU guys on staff to come full circle and play this game against Indiana.
Yeah, I'd probably be missing some Coach Ballou, Coach Sheridan. But your reference to Kane, here's what I saw when I was there. First of all, a guy that really wanted me to come be a part of it. And then when I was there, did everything he could to be a team player. He was focused on running a defense. I was the offense coordinator, but practice plans, schedules, whatever it was, he would be willing to work with you to help make sure it was best for our team and not just his side of the ball. And then there obviously has to be a production and a style of coaching that you feel fits. And, whether it's what he does as a defensive coordinator, or especially down here now with his home being, for the most part, being down here in the Southeast, what he could bring as far as the familiarity to the league, the region. It was a great fit, a great opportunity. And, for him to jump on board and be a part of this, you can see what he's done with our defense. He's a great coach, great person, great family man. Our players really believe in him. Our staff does too, as he manages them. So it's been really, really a great, great opportunity. And I'm glad that he was a big part of me coming there, trying to get me to Indiana. I'm glad he returned the favor and came when I called him as well.
Thank you, Coach. That will conclude the first portion of today's teleconference. Thank you for joining us today. Media members, you're welcome to stay on the line until we're joined by Coach Cignetti at 10:45 p.m. Pacific, 1:45 p.m. Eastern.
All right, thank you, Karen. We'll go ahead and take some questions from our group here. Let's start with Chase, front row on the left. Got
half of the Oklahoma game, Tim Keenan needed some help getting off the field. Can you update us on how he's doing, and also if there's anything new with LT Overton?
Yeah, I know he was a little bit sore. Tim was a little bit sore after the game, but I'm expecting that he'll be good to go. Maybe still working through it here early in the week, but we got some time, and so I'm expecting him to be good to go. LT, just continue to monitor him. Definitely not ruling him out right now, but we'll continue to evaluate him and see how things go here in the days ahead.
Go to the far right side, Charlie.
That Red Morgan also visited the 10. Is he good to go? Do you expect the same thing?
Yeah, I expect him again, lower extremity. Yeah, really kind of the same as TK. I would expect him to be ready to go, but the last couple of days and today he's still a little bit sore.
Let's go to Nick, right front row, right.
Yeah, another Indiana question for you. Do you have a favorite memory from that time you were there?
Yeah, I'm just curious what you've seen from Freddie and the defensive line at the back half of the season. It seems like they improved pretty dramatically.
Yeah, I think the first key is that these guys up front that we play with discipline, and making sure that you take care of your gap, that you're trying to take on blocks more than one and eating up those if you can, so that way, depending on the call, so that way our linebackers and even our safeties can come down and fit it up correctly. And when they do their job, the rest of it kind of falls into place as far as where the ball gets spilled to or where it gets leveraged to. And, that starts with them, because once they come out of a gap and all of a sudden the ball winds back somewhere where it's not supposed to, or a pass rush lane, opens up and a quarterback can take off. We face some mobile quarterbacks here the back half of the season. So, again, they've done a nice job of just being disciplined and working together. And that's a team thing, because they don't always get the highlights and the stats. They just got to do their part to help our defense be successful.
Coach, you mentioned diving back into the process. Over the next 10 days, what do you want to replicate from the OU prep that you saw specifically heading into the Rose Bowl?
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing that's nice right now is you don't have school, and so I think our guys just, I told them I love playing night games, because I just feel like, again, this isn't discredit an opponent, but it's just that much confidence I have in our guys about how they care, them using every minute and moment that they can to get better, to improve, to prepare. Might be watching film on game day, just more than, the opponent, just out preparing. And so I thought our guys did a great job being present. There's times they can get away from the facility, but being present in our meetings, in our practice, I thought the energy was as good as it's been. And again, I think there's less to the day, so they're focused on football, the excitement of the playoff, and now that continuing on, going on the next round, especially with kind of how we finished the game and played. Just stay with the process. We understand what's worked. Keep making it better. We have to keep getting better, because obviously we were down 17-0 at one point, and there's a reason for that. And so as a team, we need to continue to improve, make sure that those things are shored up to where we can start faster.
Kind of a calendar question for you. With prep for the Rose Bowl, obviously the portal window opens shortly after the Rose Bowl. What does kind of your attention look like, not only for preparing for this game, but for what's to come, roster retention, things like that? Yeah, no, I think there's conversations the coaches have continued to have. Just our antennas are up, and I think the one thing I appreciate about our whole team, and that's coaches and players together, I think there's really strong relationships and conversations that can be had in a way where you can be really upfront and honest and talk through things. And there's a care that these guys have for each other, to where first and foremost, we want to take advantage of what we've done all season. This is why you did all the work, is to be able to play in this game. But there also is a reality of that time coming when the portal does open, and just talking through any of the what ifs, any of the different scenarios, and every guy's situation is different. Us just kind of making sure that, if there is any type of, I don't call it red flag, but anything that you kind of
think might happen, let's talk about it, you know, and we've been open. I think that's how we retained a lot of our roster at different times, at different levels over the last year and a half, 2 years. And that's what I would hope we would continue to do with our coaching staff and the relationship, as well as our players and the way they care about the program, as well as this season and finishing strong.
Let's go to Joe in the back row.
Coach, on Friday night, Ty Simpson started 3 of 6 for 17 yards, took a sack, but then he hit the pass to Lozia Brooks for the first down, and he really got going, finishing 15 of 23 for 215 yards. What changed for Ty Simpson maybe on that 4th drive, and how can he kind of keep that momentum rolling for the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, I think that throw to Lottie was probably the one that sparked us as a team, got us into their territory on the 3rd down, the flag route or corner route. I think we were close. You know, we had the first 3rd down throw catch that just fell incomplete. I think that would have been huge for us. There's these moments, the next couple of drives, you know, we took a sack on the screen. We're just trying to get an easy completion. You know, different guys we can throw to on that screen. We didn't execute well. They pressured into it. So again, that got us behind the sticks. You know, really, I think it was probably, was it the 4th drive then when this happened? Where we got it rolling, and it was just really more of the same. I mean, we hit a lot of quick passes that got him into a rhythm, and it was outside and inside. You know, Lottie had his catches, Cuevas had his catches kind of inside. I think it was later in the game, maybe Jay Lindsey had a catch, but you know, Isaiah caught some on the outside a little bit. And then what started to happen is he got in a rhythm, and now you saw the explosives and the ball down the field and the one-on-ones versus man, at least on a couple of them. And I think about Isaiah's in the 4th quarter, obviously Germ's catch in the 4th quarter. You know, we started hitting some routes off of a play action there in the second, in the second quarter there. I think it was you know, a dig route there with Isaiah. So this found a rhythm, and you know, that's what we've been lacking. Now it goes both ways. Guys got to make plays, like make the easy plays. We still had too many drops. There were some simple plays where, you know, 2nd and 6, we just got to catch the ball on the sideline and go get 3 or 4 yards or more, break a tackle, and you got a 1st down. Some of those things where we just still missed on, and we just got to clean up. And I know our guys will continue to work on that.
Let's go to Will on the far left.
Coach, Lottie has been a guy that throughout the year has made some big catches for you guys and been a downfield target at times as well. Obviously, you guys needed what he brought to the table on Friday night. Can you speak about just how proud you were of him finally getting into the end zone and just his performance? And then what's maybe the one area that you've seen him develop the most over his freshman year?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it caught me by surprise when you said something the other night. You guys brought up that was his first touchdown. And just think about how many big plays he's made for us. You know, they weren't touchdowns, but he's an important part of our offense. He's got the ability before he catches the ball to get open one-on-one, as you saw in the corner route for the touchdown. And then obviously when he gets the ball in his hands, breaking tackles on the 4th down catch, touchdown. And then just the physicality he can bring, even though he's not this bigger guy, he's strong, and lower body strength as well. And so I think when it comes to the growth that he's had this season, just understanding this is, you know, college football, and, you know, the step that, you know, takes from the preparation. You know, you don't just roll out on the football field on a Saturday like you probably did when he was so much better than everyone he faced in high school, and just go get it done. There's timing because, you know, the windows are smaller. There's focus, but and you can see the plays he's made. I think about the Missouri catch and 4th down. I think about different ones he's had throughout the years. You know, he's been more consistent than not, and that's impressive for a freshman. And so he's a really cool kid to be around. You really light, kind of got a smile on his face. You know, it's just fun to be around. And so I'm happy for him. Obviously, we needed him in a big way, and he came through.
Going to the back left, Matthew.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Daniel Hill's 30-yard run in that early 3rd quarter. Just what did you see work on that play?
We ran a little toss to the left side there into the boundary, and you know, he made a nice cutback. He kind of broke through a tackle there, And, the key is getting that thing started, trying to get the edge on that particular play. We had some success at times. There were some times we just missed blocks on plays similar to it, maybe not the exact same one. That was, I think, the case in a number of runs is we were just one block away. I thought we probably did a better job overall blocking the first time we played Oklahoma from just clean pictures. But it's nothing that we can't shore up moving forward. And some of it might have been even like not just sustaining it, just a guy getting over the top of us on some down blocks or crack blocks and things like that. So we just need to be better in that moment. But Daniel, I thought, did a nice job making the first guy running through a tackle there. And then I really love that, knowing and understanding what Oklahoma's really good at and guys converging, kind of realizing that maybe it might be tough to spring it for a touchdown, making sure you protect the football. He's done a great job of that and needs to continue to do a good job moving forward for us to be successful. But I thought the one that he just did a really good job on was the touchdown run, running through some guys, staying on his feet, the balance. That was a big run. We got the look that we, we're thinking we were probably had a chance of getting, and, gave him the ball and, he did a nice job, finding a way to get in the end zone on his own.
Got time for a few more. Let's start on the back left, Tony.
Kind of on that, this will be your third straight time facing a top 5 run defense. Just have you learned, or what can you take maybe from playing Georgia and Oklahoma's run defense and into, I think, what's the number 3 run defense in the nation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think a lot of it is the tackle for losses is what you got to really try to guard against. And this is a team I think maybe is just right around or ahead or behind Oklahoma, and in that category. Attacking style, guys that shed blocks, that play physical, use their hands, they're violent, and so these games hopefully prepare you, and again you find ways to improve, whether it's individually your assignment and your job or just schematically. But they present it in different ways, so it might not be the same schemes you run, but it's to me it's about you just understanding one, you got to do your job, but then everyone working together. And that's where we got to make sure we continue to improve to stay away from the tackles for losses. Because you get behind the chains on teams like Oklahoma, Georgia, and now obviously Indiana, they'll find a way to make you pay for it.
Standing up on the back right.
Last year, all 4 teams that won their first round game also.
We're actually going to hit a quick timeout because I know there's a couple more questions, but what I'm going to do is we're running out of time here on radio. I want to make sure we squeeze everything in. So we'll hit a quick timeout real quick. When we come back, we'll have to close things out quick. But don't worry, I'm going to stay behind on the stream, and we're going to continue the stream going because I got the tape here, and we hadn't had a chance to look at that. So we'll do all that, but we'll be quick here and closing things out here in a minute on radio. But the stream will continue at the Miller's Edge on YouTube if you guys want to hang out with us. All that coming up right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Hi, this is Gene Poole. And I'm John Poole of Hudson Poole Fine.
Boom, Adam back again with another $50 super chat. Adam, I'm telling you, man, please let me know if we can advertise something for you, man. I want to make sure we can pay you back for all your contributions. Seriously, man. Thank you so much. Adam says, Christian, do you think Alabama can play man coverage against Indiana and stack the box to pressure Mendoza? Or they need to mix more zone and pattern match to avoid getting beat by receivers? Good question, man. We'll dive into this here after I finish up on radio. We'll look at this this tape because that's what I've been. If you've been looking at me, look over this way. I'm looking at this side of my monitor, watching the tape over here. The adjustments that we made, man, it was evident. I think this is the pick 6 right here, and I hadn't even broke this down, but we'll do that here in a second. Long story short, we played a lot more man coverage. Definitely the second, I would say outside of the first quarter, the first few series, we'll just go by series. The first 3 or so series, we played a lot of cover 2, and it's like an invert 2 look. So on one side, it looks like typical cover 2 on the back side. And I'll be honest with you, it's interesting. Just like Georgia played the invert 2 on that pick that they ran, but they were playing like both sides invert 2, right? Basically meaning the corners are now the half players, the safeties are down, it's flats. Well, looks like we're already back. Hold on one second. And welcome back into this Victory Monday. This is the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We had a few more minutes. I know we had a phone call, so I wanted to see if we could squeeze that in. 205-342-9904. KJ, you still with us?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Sorry, that press conference was going way longer than I thought, but we got a couple
You
minutes,
good,
man.
you good.
I want to
You
get
good.
your
I was
opinion because
like-
I know you're about to say something. I got a feeling on what I know what it's about. It's about the Ryan conversation.
Just the comment about like Brooks had a better season than him. I disagree with that. Like everything else that you guys are talking about.
Wait.
I mean, I'm with you.
You
but
disagree?
Brooks-
You
I think
disagree on that?
Yeah. I think that's like recency bias, just creeping up on people. I saw somebody even saying like calling him Jalen Waddle. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, huh?
Well, he
But I
listen.
just think it's
That's a little bit of a stretch, but I mean, he's a special player though. I'll give him that. But I mean,
I'm not, and please please fans do not think I'm not saying anything against him at all. Like, I think he's a great player. I think he is going to do wonders. But I think it's a stretch to say that he had a better season, even in Ryan's. And one thing that I can say that Ryan dropped way too many passes. But other than that, like yards up the catch, passing yards, touchdowns, like even in the down year, Ryan's still surpassing that. And playing in a position that he never played in. Because I would talk to a receiver in the league about the difference. Because I was like, of course he got brought up, and I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, why do you think what's the issue? Like, you think it's his mental? And I know, because I brought up, I was like, everybody been saying like he got to get the drug regime more. I was like, but the kid is working, so I know it's not that. So what is it? And we talked about him playing in the slot this season and the aspect of it, like the mental part of it. It's just a lot going on, man. Like it combined with never playing slot ever, and then you dropping passes, and then the world talking about you, right? And then I saw a meme when the college football game. They took them off of it, and they only had.
Now people are doing too much. That's why I said, like, listen,
Bruh,
yeah,
let me
the people are doing too
all
much.
my life, bro.
Hey,
Like,
listen,
so, yeah, I mean,
that's
I
too
don't
much.
think Brooks, yeah. I also want to talk to you about Hubbard, bro. Like, what's up with Hubbard? It seems like to me he got a lot of talent, bro. But sometimes when you watch film, bro, he be missing sometimes, man. He come up missing a lot.
Yeah, there's some moments in there, which I mean, it's typical. But that's what my dad was mentioning that one time when we were talking about him, and some people are like, "What are you talking about?" But it's like, again, if you look at the numbers, it's one thing, but you got to watch the whole picture. But he's still a really good player. Yeah, but there's some moments here and there. Yeah, but yeah, no, you're not wrong. Call in tomorrow, please, because I know you didn't have much time, but I definitely want to continue this.
All
to
right,
be
bro.
fair, real quick,
I
to
got
your point, Brooks, 32 receptions, 441 yards, 2 touchdowns this season, compared to Ryan Williams, 43 receptions, 636 yards, and 4 touchdowns this season. So, to be fair, Ryan's numbers are better. But I guess if you want to argue the whole critical moment factor, I mean, Brooks has stepped up big in some big moments. So, but great.
Ryan had quality touchdowns too as well. The LSU game, no one scored a touchdown. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the bad moments are bad, but I think people are overlooking what he's done too as well. So
I agree with that. I think that's very fair. I think because hell, I'll be honest, I didn't even expect him to have 200 more yards than Brooks. Just thinking back on the season off the top of my head, but seeing that, I was like, damn, I didn't realize there was such a separation there with the numbers. Yeah, call back tomorrow, so we got plenty of time to really talk about it.
All right, yo.
All right, sounds good, brother. All right, we got to close out on radio, but don't worry, we're not going anywhere on the stream. If you guys want to jump over from the radio, come hang out with us at the Miller's Edge on YouTube. We'll be watching some tape and continuing the conversation. But if not, we will see you guys tomorrow right here, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
You've been listening to the Miller's Edge, tackling sports daily.
Whether you're a working Thank you, Reed. I appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir. Good stuff. All right, guys, let's keep on rolling here. Just like that. I proved KJ's point to everybody. But no, I think what KJ said is very fair. I think the lows that Ryan's had this season are definitely pretty low, right? And I know people go, oh, it just drops. But I mean, he's had a lot of drops, man, a lot of drops. But then I don't think his play is as bad as maybe it seems. And I'll be honest. I mean, just I'll admit I didn't even realize he had 200 more yards than Brooks on the year. Because if you and maybe I'm just going off the most recent games, but he hadn't had many targets. He hadn't been as nearly as involved. Um, and he also missed what, 1 or 2 games. So that's why I said I would not count this guy out. And I'm not saying just because we're having a conversation about the NIL deal, that does not mean by any stretch I don't think you should do it. Listen, retaining is one thing, but I'm just saying, like, there is a conversation to be had, just like Arch took a cut. I'm not. I think for some reason, maybe I don't know, holding on to hope, whatever. I think Ryan next year comes back and I think he explodes, has a huge year. Yeah, Rick, you got to call in tomorrow, bro. Wait, B Duke. Wait, I was confident going to Norman too. Wait, way more confident about this next game than I was about Norman. Really? Whoa, guys. Whoa. You're more confident about playing Indiana than Oklahoma? I think that's the best defense we'll face to overcome it. Indiana's got a good defense, bro. They got a good team overall. Let me get back to Adam's super chat, man. I don't want to keep him waiting. Seriously, thank you so much for the support, Adam. Like, really. And I'm serious, man. Message me. I mean, if you need us to advertise anything, I mean, on the radio side of things, we've got a lot of advertising that we do. But regardless, I can even do it there or on the stream, man. You let me know, brother. I'd be glad to. But again, Adam asked about playing more man coverage against Indiana, trying to stack the box. Here's a great point. So back to this game real quick. We played a lot of zone coverage, and it was like an invert 2 coverage. So what is that? Again, it's just cover 2, but you're switching the responsibilities of the safeties and the corners. We were doing it like half of the field, though, right? So one half was invert, the other wasn't. Long story short, I think Kane Womack's idea of playing a lot of zone in this game was for 2 reasons, but the main one being you're playing against a quarterback that can make plays with his legs. I didn't get to hit this point on radio. I hated that I missed a lot of stuff, but I was kind of all over the place, and that press conference went way long. But you play a lot more zone when you play quarterbacks. So just like if you're playing Jalen Milroe, like I know we keep using him as an example, but again, a dual threat quarterback. I know Mateer's not that type, but you see they utilize him in the running game, a guy that can scramble. Everybody's backs are turned when you play man. So I think the approach was, hey, we'll play a lot more zone this game. Plus knowing like they have a lot of quick game to them. And I think that was the approach, but more so wanted to take away or not risk having him scramble all over you if you don't contain him with the guys up front. But then they realized the zone wasn't probably the best game plan in this matchup, and they switched to playing a lot more man, which you started to see after like the 3rd series. Like I can go back and show you, but really like the first 3, maybe even 4 series of the game, we were just spamming cover 2. Like, I mean, it's like cover 2. I mean, if really we're doing different things up front, but on the back end, we just play a lot of cover 2. And then you see it slowly transition to just a lot of man coverage. And that's when it really started to make a big difference in this game. I got the hold on, this pulled up. So I didn't pull it back up. But to Adam's question, though, in terms of stacking the box against Indiana, another good point to think about, because Indiana, you look at how they play. Mendoza's not a scrambler, right? But what do they do well? They run the football really damn well. So you got to take that into consideration in terms of your game plan. Like, hey, these guys, they're going to run the football on us, right? So that's going to be part of the game plan. You probably do want more numbers in the box, right? So that probably will be considered. But in terms of mixing things up, I mean, you definitely always want to mix stuff up. I was kind of confused. I don't know. Normally, it's interesting because we typically, when we run zone, we run a lot of cover 3. But recently, we've been running a lot of cover 2. And then we went back to running a lot of man coverage. So it's just kind of interesting. I think what it shows is Kane Womack can definitely utilize a number of different things depending on what he's getting. And I think that shows the growth from last season. We're seeing those adjustments, not only from a game-to-game basis, but in real time, like we saw in this game against Oklahoma. In terms of going against Mendoza and those guys, I mean, first and foremost, you got to stop the run, right? Because Indiana, I think, like that reporter just said, maybe 3rd, or maybe he's talking about rushing defense, but they're at least top 10, top 15 in rushing. I can pull up the numbers, but definitely probably see some more guys in the box against them. Then when you earn the right to rush, man, you got to get after it, because he's not just going to turn the football over like that. Really consistent throw of the football. His guys make plays for him, and he's solid, man. They just play really good complementary football. Good football players up front. And they do a good job overall, man. They run the ball well. They throw the ball well. So you want to see a lot of man coverage that will play right into Indiana's strengths. Yeah, that's why you really we'll have to see kind of how they approach it. I mean, there's a number of ways you can kind of go about it. But first and foremost, you got to stop the run. I mean, that comes at the line of scrimmage, bro. So you can kind of build off of that. Adam, in terms of like their skill guys, I had to go back and watch them a little bit more. I've only watched, if I'm being completely honest, I watched the Penn State game, I watched the Ohio State game. I mean, they had the guys making plays in that game. So I mean, off the small sample size of the tape that I've watched on them, I mean, they've got some good players, but they definitely run the football. Let me just pull these numbers real quick before we jump back to this tape. But in terms of adjustments, man, I mean, making way more adjustments than we had in the past, which is really good. All right, let's see. Let's look at their rushing numbers first. Where's it at? Hold on. Rushing offense. Here we go. Yeah, they're the number 10 rushing team in the country. Indiana, that is, by the way. Yeah, no problem, Adam. I wish I had more context, but like I said, once I watch more of their tape, I can give you even better of an answer. But right now, yeah, looking at they're 10th in the country in rushing yards. They're averaging 221 yards a game on the ground. I believe 5.5 per carry. And then the passing game, we're at 22nd nationally for passing yards. Let's see where they're at. 44th, right? So very balanced, you see. I mean, they throw for about 250 a game, rush for about 220. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're a very balanced football team. So really to Adam's point, I mean, it's really, you're probably going to see it. I think for that matchup, when you're playing a team that's balanced like that, you're not so worried about a quarterback scrambling. You're going to see a lot of different looks. Definitely think you got to bring pressure. I think you got to try to force the issue on Mendoza, try to make him make some mistakes. Let me see his individual numbers. I don't think he's had many turnovers. He's got 6 interceptions. But he's first in the country in touchdowns with 33. Like I said, man, really good player. Against Ohio State, 15 to 23 for 222, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times. They gave up 5 sacks to Wisconsin. So got to get after him, man. Got to get after him and force the issue for sure. But overall, really good football team. But I think you'll see I think you'll see a combination, Adam. I think you'll see a lot more man though now, knowing that, you know, against Oklahoma, man, that in that matchup ended up, you know, kind of being the thing. And then with you not having to worry so much about him scrambling, it makes you feel better about running a lot more man coverage. So I think you see a mix. I don't think we completely just go straight into man coverage the whole time like we were doing a lot last season, but I think a good balance. Definitely think you see a good balance. But seriously, thank you so much for the support, man. And please message us. Send us a message on X at the Miller's Edge if we can some way, somehow, man, do some advertising for you. Seriously, for all the support you offer, man. I want to make sure we pay it back. Speaking of defense, Adam, if you don't mind, I'm gonna move this super chat real quick just so we can see the whole screen, man. Seriously, again, thank you so much. This is a pick 6 right here. So we're showing cover 0. We're showing an all-out blitz, right? So we're showing cover 0 initially. You see Bray bails out. And what they end up getting to is not cover 0, it's cover 2. So this is that cover 2 invert look that I just was talking about. So we would run. I wish y'all were watching with me so y'all would have seen how we set. Like, so this is the invert I'm talking about. So you see all game we ran this same look. Flat player, half player, and the reason I'm calling it invert is if you look up top, normally if it was just straight cover 2, this corner would also be a flat player and you'd have a safety as a half player. At first, I was wondering if we were seeing more cover 6 because you keep seeing this free runner, right? This middle of the field runner. It's really cover 2, but that's what he is. He's a middle of the field runner. But it kind of gives off low key like cover 6, which is cover 2 to one side, then cover 4 to the other. I was almost thinking it was like quarter, half, but it really is an invert 2 up top and just regular 2 down here. Again, I don't know exactly what he was playing. I know he initially thought he had cover 0, but there clearly is a miscommunication with the receiver because the receiver, obviously, there's a disconnect between the two, right? But if I go back, I'll go back in a second, but you'll see we ran this coverage all game. But this time we disguised really well, showing cover 0, get to it late, boom. And he gifts us that pick 6 by Xavier Brown. The only reason I say gift is I'm saying, the receiver was really nowhere to be found. But you see, we're showing 8 on the line of scrimmage, right? Bray bails late, ends up being cover 2. We end up, it's a simulated pressure, right? We've been talking a lot about simulated pressures on here. It's another example. We got 8 guys up, ends up being 7 last second because he bails 1, 2, 3, only 4 rushers. And really 3 because you got a low hole player. That's a great call, man. Really good call because if you go back and look, again, we kind of took a page out of Oklahoma's book, right? Showing all that pressure, dropping a few guys and popping out, taking away these short underneaths. There's not really anywhere you're going to go with the football. And he ends up making a very bad decision right here. But I want to go back real quick just to show you guys. Now, I don't know exactly. This might be an example right here. It's another example, right? So this is the same coverage, right? But this time we're not disguised in cover 0. You see what I'm saying? Invert look up here. You got a half player. You got a flat player. Again, this is a corner. They're just swapping responsibilities in cover 2. Xavier is that flat player. Now he's getting hella aggressive right here. I don't know what the coaching point was right there. Unless he just was biting on the run action. But then you see Bray bailing back here because he's the other half player. And that's your middle of the field runner. So they have been, I don't want to waste too much time going back, but you see, this was like what we played for the first 3 series. This is the coverage that we were playing. I think they might have sprinkled in maybe cover 3 briefly. But literally, if you go back, like invert 2, right? I can skip around. I'll show you. Invert, that's really what they're playing. And then we started playing a lot more man. And then literally right before, right, so before that pick, we played man. We showed cover 0, which is man, and then got back to our 2. So it really started messing with Mateer. Like this is man. We're playing man right here. So this is when we finally started seeing a lot more man coverage. And then there was that pick. But what were the other plays you guys wanted to see? Somebody mentioned the sack. Jory's still out on Oregon. Yeah, that was kind of weird of that second half with JMU. Do you think overall they have a better roster than some of the teams we've been playing, or it's just they're better at executing? Talking about Indiana, I think they execute really well. I'd argue if you probably go look at their recruiting classes or even their transfer portal additions, they're probably not littered with 5 stars like some of these other schools, but they play hard, man. They're tough. They're extremely well coached, and they're very balanced. Good defense. They run the football. Their offense is extremely balanced. They got a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback. They're poised. They've shown the ability to come back from behind. They just do a lot of good things well. So I don't think it's necessarily like the talent. Yes, they have the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, but I think it's more so, man, they're well coached and they execute at a really high level. Do you think Bama has the confidence needed to go into this game? In terms of their confidence, I would imagine so. You just proved to yourself that you can be down 17-0 on the road in a hostile environment, one of the most electric atmospheres of this college football season, and find a way and find a will to fight back against a good Oklahoma team. Now, I know people are mentioning like the defense for Oklahoma. Listen, Oklahoma still has a really good defense. If anybody tries to walk that back, no, I'm not hearing that, man. They've got a really good defense. They can be inconsistent at times, but that's everybody. Georgia's got a damn good defense. They've been inconsistent at times. Only thing Oklahoma doesn't, they have elite special teams, elite defense. Their offense just isn't very capable. And what's crazy was their offense played better in this game than they had for majority of the season. And Alabama still found a way to win the game. We had a couple of times that we got bailed out, meaning they got the punter dropping the football. John Mateer, throwing that pick six. I mean, very bad decision in a very critical moment. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, I think we finally stepped up and started doing things that we had done earlier on in the year, a la making those big plays. I go back to Missouri, right? We need something to happen. Fourth down conversion, Lotsier Brooks coming up with an incredible catch, Ty throwing off his back foot. Like, you got to have those plays when you're playing in the playoffs, man, against really good football teams. And we hadn't seen those in over a month, and they came back to life. So to answer your question, I think you should have confidence, 100%. Indiana's offense is playing better than us mainly because they have a running game. And that's why, again, we talk about being balanced. I mean, when you average 250 through the air and also 220 on the ground, I mean, that's damn good offensive efficiency. Damn good. And it helps Mendoza out a lot, 100%. Let's see what they're running here. So it's a similar look in terms of the simulated pressure we're showing. What's the down and distance? Probably third down, 3rd and 8. So similar look, showing 0 initially. Right, bail out of it. See, these simulated pressures, man, they definitely are working in our favor for sure. Now, I think they end up making this play right here, but whoever that corner is, that Damani up top corner gets a little – he's a flat player. He bites on the scramble, which, I mean, I get it. He's naturally trying to make a play, thinks he's about to run for it, but you got to sink. I know you're a flat player, but you got to sink under this. I mean, that's the weak spot of cover 2, right? I want to say this is another – yeah, same thing. Invert 2, right? Half player, middle of the field runner. Flat. So you see what I'm saying? It's interesting. I got to go back and look. I feel like I don't remember us playing a whole bunch of invert 2. Maybe we saw Georgia running a lot of it in SEC championship game. Got to get Ryan back on track catching the ball so we can be more explosive. Yeah, listen, man, we had that big conversation about him earlier. I just think the biggest thing with him, he's got to get his confidence, man. Got to get his confidence. But I also think, like, we've watched tape with Slade. I mean, I think that I think little fundamental stuff will go a long way with him. Route running. I mean, all the little details. I think that could definitely be improved. But the potential's there. I mean, the dude definitely, he's a special player. We have the better quarterback and better wideouts. I feel confident. Yeah, but we've had better quarterbacks and wideouts in the last month and a half or so, Jake, and we haven't been playing that. So, I mean, it's about execution. I mean, you're right. We got the guys, but they got to execute. Got to build off of they got to build off this momentum from this game. Got to build off the momentum. If our can pressure Mendoza and can stop the run, I think we can beat them. That's going to be the key on defense. Stopping the run and pressure Mendoza, 100%. Those are my top keys for our defense, Phil. You read my mind. Got to be able to do those two things. Jake, is it a sack that you wanted to see? Is that what it was? Or was that maybe that was Carson? Somebody asked about a sack. All right, now this looks like cover 3. This now we're back to our staple. We see cover 3 right here. Wait. Yeah. We got cover 3 right here. End up hitting that. Good play by them. Good physical tackle by Justin. I thought he played pretty well in this game. We got the pedigree, the depth, the talent, but I don't know if we pull it out. Put it all into the Oklahoma game. Did that wake something up in this team? Excuse me. Hopefully it did. First one was with 11:15 left in the third quarter. All right. Show me Indiana DBs. I want to see what they do good, if you don't mind. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get to that today, brother, but we'll definitely watch some Indiana tape. You said third quarter. Damn, I can skip ahead. I was trying to show y'all kind of the adjustments, right, and how things changed earlier on, how they played out. Let's see what we got here. So we got a single high shell pre-snap. This is man coverage. Short game, right? Yeah, money. Don't worry. I promise. I'll pull up some Indiana tape. We're so backed up on this, but we'll watch plenty of it. We got like what? How long to that game? Like 2 weeks. Just slip right there. Somebody mentioned Keon earlier. I'll be honest with you. I just don't. I feel like every time we brought him on a pressure, man, I feel like he's missed every sack opportunity. And I'm not trying to knock him, but I almost would just say at this point, man, I would maybe try to call things where he's not in the pressure. I just feel like more times than not, man, he whiffs on those sack opportunities. I mean, he's always like always the free runner too, man. I feel like he's probably like 3 games he's done that. There's a nice, pop by these guys, right? Fake quarterback counter, pop pass. It's a good play call. Really good play call. I'm not gonna lie, at this point in the game, I was like, damn, bro. They had a couple weeks to game plan. I'm like, without a doubt, somebody been drinking haterade. Yeah, I'm talking about Sav. Yeah. Wait, Melissa, who's drinking haterade? Maybe she's new. Listen, we're just honest and we break down football. I mean, if someone misses a sack, that's not hating. That's a fact. I mean, the tape shows it. That's not anything. I don't hate on nothing. I've won my championships. I've done my time, man. I'm good. I'm not hating on anything. Paul, what's up, bro? No, I'm just saying from a football sense. I mean, if I watch tape how any coach will watch tape. I don't watch tape as a fan. I watch tape as we break down the good and the bad, positives, negatives, just like the coaches do. You know what I mean? Just like that's exactly what their coaches do. The coach say the same thing. If you miss a tackle on tape, it's a negative. Now you flexed and hating. All right, so we got a troll. All right, so they're just trolling. I promise you, ain't nobody flexing or hating. Yeah, we're not talking about Keon Key. We're talking about Keon Sapp. No, it's not flexing. I'm just saying. My point is, I have nothing to hate on at all. Yeah, I'm talking about Sapp. I'm talking about bringing him on the pressures. Yeah, I'm just talking about Keon Sapp on the pressures and some of these open field tackles that he's missed. I'm just saying, personally, I would try to not put him in that position because it's just clearly not his best, I guess. Listen, as a coach, you want to put your guys in position to make plays. And I'm just saying he whiffs on those a lot. It's not hating, it's just a fact. We speak facts here on this channel. All right, let's see. Let me try to skip ahead. Yeah, I think that they're just trolling. We always get there's always somebody in here. So we always get somebody. It's like at least one person that always just like hating or something. I'm like, nah. Even like talking about the rings. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you guys. I promise. I have nothing to hate on, man. Like, I was very fortunate to have success when I played here. Everything I wanted to do. I just enjoy talking football. As you guys can see, though, and man right here, a lot more man bringing pressure, right? Forcing the issue, getting him out of the pocket, making him throw on the run. This is that one. They dropped that long one. But I think there was a bust here because to me, because I mean, no one ever even takes this dude, right? And then you got Scramble Joe right here playing catch up. I just was shocked. I mean, I didn't even realize this initially watching it. Not only could have just ran this, but he could have just hit this tight end right here. But you can't blame him though. I mean, like this guy, he's got him beat. I know Oklahoma fans are mad about that, but I mean that should be a touchdown. I mean, that's on that dude. I get it. I mean, it's third down. Maybe you just, be conservative right there and just take the first down. But I mean, I can't even be. And here, this is what we're talking about with Keon Sapp. Again, nobody is hating. If you guys have not watched us or listened to my show, we support Alabama. We root for Alabama. I don't even think I've ever even picked against Alabama, even though there's times knowing what I know, I probably would, like the SEC championship game. That said, we break down what the tape says. That's not a knock on anybody. Again, I'm cool with all these guys. I go up to the complex a lot. I'm not saying nothing that the coach wouldn't say. I'm not saying nothing that they don't know themselves. I mean, you tell me you don't think this guy knows that he's missed a lot of sacks? I'll tell you, the people up in the building will tell him that. If you guys think they just pat you on the back and say, "Oh man, we got to get him next time," hell no, man. This is college football. This ain't high school. Yeah, no, I know. But this is what I was talking about, though. I mean, we got to capitalize on these because and you see why. I mean, luckily they dropped the football, but I mean, like this goes from all right, we got this guy for a 6-7 yard loss on third down. They get exactly what we want. I mean, it's a great call. Let me go back to the wide, right? I mean, 8 does a great job buying that tackle, right? They're basically slanting inside. Tackle is consumed there. Keon comes scot-free off the edge, right? And literally, I mean, the good news is the pressure at least stops this because I'm pretty sure Mateer would have just been able to hit this guy if he didn't feel his pressure. So I mean, it at least did something. But again, what should have been a sack here, getting off the field, I mean, huge deal right here. It almost turned into 6. I mean, that's you see what I'm saying? Like that's that could have been bad. What was the score at this point? I want to say we were still down 7? No, we're down 10. So we're down 10 at this point. And we have a chance on third down to get off the field. Big sack, right? Huge momentum shift for us. We whiff a free sack, which again, it happens. I know people aren't perfect. Hell, I've whiffed on a sack. I mean, it happens. But it almost ended up turning into a touchdown for them. And I mean, you're talking about that could have literally changed the game. So all I'm saying is, if it's a one-off, that's one thing. But the tape says it's not picking on anybody. I mean, he whiffed one against Missouri for sure, and he also whiffed one, I think, against LSU. And those are just one that come to my mind. So, all right, this is definitely a troll. Do you think they actually get called out in film study? All right, yeah, let me stop. I try to be nice, even though when I sense people are trolling, I try to be nice to everybody, but I can't waste our time, man. I don't want to do that to other people. I mean, penalty call should have been a warning. Anyway, though, but ends up working out in our favor. Again, you got to get some gifts sometimes, man. All right, 1st and 10 on 25. I think is it faking the jet here? Yep. Good job there. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the meaningful stuff, guys. Cover 2 again. I told you guys. I mean, literally, this game, the game plan, I guess, was we're going to cover 2 in man coverage. But We got cover 2 again. Boom. And see, this is why they started mixing in man, but then after these kept coming up, you saw, I mean, a lot of man coverage. Weak part of the field in cover 2 is always the middle, right? And this is why you got 2 halves players, right? So cover 2 again, flat, other corners are flat. This is a half player, he's a half player. Middle part of the field. That's why you normally try to get these backers to play with as much depth as possible. That way they can eat into this window and let these safeties kind of have time to play over the top. But we don't get great depth right there. Really good throw by Mateer. I thought he looked about as good as he's looked in a long time, man. We're talking about us getting healthy. It looks like he had time to get his thumb back healthy because that's what he had. I think he broke his thumb. But that was the other thing. We weren't getting great pass rush early in this game either, man. Way too much time there. Way too much time. Let's see what we're working up front. We're working what we call a TE game, right? So he's clear and he's setting the pick for the end. But, I mean, it's not really running that great. And then we're running an ET over here. TE, ET, jam pop, bunch of different names, all the same thing. Let's see. Trips up top. Playing man coverage, right? Really good job. Everybody's in great positions, right? It's cover 1, right? Single high safety. Everybody's playing man underneath. Condense the pocket, nowhere to go. Great job. Really good job. See what they run up front. Bringing the backer on the pressure. He's a rapper. Nice job. Who is that? Who's that tackle right there? I wasn't paying attention. Is that Edric Hill or Tim? Good job closing the cage. Oh, wait, easy, Chris. Easy, Chris. No, everybody's welcome. Easy. Anyone know how many yards OU gained after the first quarter? Let me see. After the first quarter, I'm not sure, man. Hell, I should use AI. That'll probably do it. Yeah, D lit them up after about midway through the second quarter or whatever. I mean, it was about a quarter and a half, man. We struggled. And after that, it's a pick. Yeah, we watched this. So really good play. And again, now you guys see what we were doing there that really caused them confusion. We started playing some more man, then we went back to that cover 2 look, which he thought we were still in that man coverage and disconnect there with the receiver. Really good job there. Let me see still in the second quarter. Damn. All right, I'm about to get to that sack, Jake. I'm sorry. I feel like after that pick, though, I feel like that's when we really started ramping things up on defense, and then you could sense the confidence from our guys. We try to hit this screen here. Nice job getting our hands up. Yeah, we didn't get our hands up there. That could have been there's definitely some grass there. Yeah, luckily we got our hands up because that definitely could have been a bigger play, but didn't happen. Yeah, Brown is a dog, man. He's a damn good player. It's a quick game. Looks like still playing that invert too. Let me skip ahead. Sorry. We'll skip here. Damn, Adam with another super chat. Goodness, brother, man. We just need Adam might be our new presenting sponsor. Hell, we need to just come up with the whole. Man, that's a blessing. I appreciate that, Adam. Seriously, Adam with another super chase says, Christian, when Ty checks at the line, is that typically a full play change or is he mostly adjusting protection based on the look from the defense? Hey, I wish we had some man, all these listen, Adam, I really appreciate you, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. Like again, we do well, especially on radio and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. But it is sometimes a little discouraging, like when you've got like, man, with NIL has made media a lot different nowadays, especially being like a former player, man. Because the reality is you kind of are competing with NIL, right? Because normally, like, there'd be a lot of, whether it's boosters or, Alabama fans, whatever, they'd have no problem, supporting the show, doing things, sponsoring, and all that good stuff. But now with all the demands with NIL, it's tough. It's tough to still do that. I hate to say like this, but sometimes it feels like the former guys are kind of forgotten. Seems like the former guys are like, a thing of the past. They don't really it's tough, like I said, because everybody's, turning their attention to NIL and I get it. So man, when I tell you I appreciate it, man, it definitely is very encouraging when yeah, you have people that support you like that because sometimes it feels like you get lost in the whole NIL shuffle and all that good stuff, man. But dude, seriously, thank you so much, man. It really does. It really does mean a lot, seriously, because we put a lot into this show, seriously, and it's always nice when you got people like yourself that support and make all this stuff happen. Like I said, everything we get on here, man, we reinvest right back in the show. Matter of fact, behind me, I got the new PC thing we're setting up and all that. So, yeah, man, everything's going back in the show. So, thank you guys so much. But to your question, when he's checking at the line. That's a good question. Matter of fact, let me check to see if the offense tape is up. But anyway, it can be, and sometimes it's not. So sometimes it is them getting to a different call. Sometimes it could just be we're going to flip, right? So say like, and I don't know if we've done that as much, but it definitely is common in like other offense, like in the NFL, you see it all the time. Quarterbacks, they can flip the play, right? So it can either be flipping a play, it could be a complete audible. Sometimes when he's checking, sometimes it's a fake check, and sometimes it's only a matter of it looks like he's checking, but he really is just changing protections, right? Or little concepts. So it really depends. Which, like you said, you mentioned that adjusting protection. So it really depends. The best way to, I mean, I don't know if we'd ever really be able to narrow down which time he's doing what, but we could probably, if we watch close enough, get an idea. But I would say this: if you see like the receivers, if he's signaling to receivers, and he's like looking and talking to the back, that's probably a little bit more than just a protection check. If you see him walking up and he's kind of identifying, you see him point, and him and the line start discussing things, but the guys on the outside don't change much. Typically, that's more protection based and things in that space. But if you start seeing him, he's communicating with signals to his receivers and stuff like that, or you see a shift or a trade with the personnel, then that could be a whole kind of audible type deal. I don't know how much we can do a complete audible. I mean, I'm sure we do it sometimes, like when we were waiting and running the clock down. Like, yeah, that definitely probably does happen. But I think a lot of times too, it's just see, and then sometimes you probably have it where you have a couple of different. Because on defense, we have it now where we have like one word calls, but there's multiple calls in it. I would imagine offense works very similarly, where they probably have a number of things in one call, where if they get certain looks, they automatically start checking other things too. Normally Slade comes on here on Tuesday, so what I'll do is I'll make sure we ask him that from his standpoint. But I'm pretty sure I'll probably hit on most of it, but I'm sure he always can add something else being on the offensive side of the football. So, no, but really good question, though. I mean, we can even see if Oklahoma does a little bit of that because I know they definitely have shifted a lot. I don't know if they're doing as much of like the checks like we do, but you staying in longer today than usual. Yeah, because we didn't get to watch any tape during the show. I mean, we were talking during the radio portion, so I was like, man, I'll hang out and continue the stream because I wanted to get to this tape. So yeah, but Adam, yeah, seriously, thank you so much. A really good question. But yeah, honestly, you're spot on. It's both. I mean, for us specifically, I think it's a little bit of both. But I will say though, I mean, there was one time we Coach DeBoer, yeah, of course, brother. I know, thank you, seriously. There's one time we missed a protection that led to a sack, so we just got to make sure we're continuing that communication. That's really important. Let's see. More man coverage here. And you see limited game, man. I think it's just all about balance, though. I seriously think it's all about balance. Because last year I thought we ran too much man coverage where it was almost like, all right, we're too predictable. The way we did in this game, we were running two invert, running some man, sprinkling a little three. I thought the balance was great. Dang, we got another super chat. Shout out to Keith. Keith with the $9.99 super chat. Keith says, ain't much, but we appreciate you. Merry Christmas and roll tide. Man, listen, man. Listen, they don't ever listen. We appreciate all the support. When you got all these streaming services and little things here and there and Canva subscriptions and listen, that it all goes a long way, brother, for the show. Seriously. Thank y'all so much, man. And Merry Christmas and roll tide to you guys. Speaking of that, our schedule for this week, I don't know if we'll be on Christmas Eve or not. So, and I'm sure you guys are probably busy anyway. You guys go take some time off from football, man. Enjoy some time with your folks or whoever you spend it with, right? I know we talked about Thanksgiving, whether it's friends, family, whoever. I know everybody's situation is different. Trust me, my situation is very different. So I understand, but I'll keep you guys updated. I don't know if we will be on Christmas Eve. Definitely won't be here Christmas Day. But I'll get that updated schedule for you guys tomorrow for sure. Wait, did we miss that sack? But Keith, thank you so much. I always get a kick when I see Keith because literally my roommate and my former teammate Keith Holcomb. I always I always think about that, Keith, when I see you on here. But thank you so much, Keith. Seriously, we appreciate that, brother. I don't think we saw a sack, but we'll get a couple more plays in here. Or if anybody has a specific thing you want me to pull up real quick, I got a few more minutes. 2nd and 6. All right, that sack is coming up here. Running a boundary pressure here, bringing who is that? Safety. Oh, it's 13. Oh, that's what's his name? Taylor. That's Taylor. Getting in there. Whoops. Bringing pressure, running man, nowhere to go, trying to hit the crosser. We got 3rd down here. Let's see what they're working up front. I like the load look. Same thing. I told you guys, man. Y'all see what I'm talking about now? It's all the same coverage. 2 invert. Kind of interesting though. I mean, I feel like they hadn't really mixed it up other than this and man coverage. So it's interesting. They obviously like it. I'm wondering to myself though, I'm like, was it just this game they liked it that much, or I don't recall them playing it so much like this. And Nakai Hill Green, man, he's a good player. I like him. Speaking of that, we need to see if we can get another player interview for you guys this week. Got an RPO right here. I think this is that sack. Man, there ain't nowhere to go. Shout out to Keon Keeley, man. Proud of that dude, man. Dude's come a long way. And listen, I know we were giving Keon a little bit of a hard, the other Keon, Sav, a little bit of a hard time. But again, it was more so just saying like the consistency or the lack of it, right? With him missing those open field tackles. I'll be the first one to tell you. These are some of the hardest sacks to get. And this is, I'm telling you guys from experience. For whatever reason, when you have a clear one-on, like just clear shot on the quarterback, it almost is like twice as hard to actually make the sack. And part of it is because like normally they have like they can either spin out or step up. And sometimes as a defender, man, like if you just have the like the angle's bad, because normally you have at least like somebody else kind of like to stop him from really stepping up like that, if that makes sense. But these are actually hard to get, believe it or not. I know it looks like a gimme, but I mean, trust me, man. Quarterbacks will spin out of those things. Those guys they're not trying to give up sacks, but the way he closed on this, man, really, really nice. And he's been working on that celebration game. It looked better than that one he had against South Carolina initially. I'd like you to get Keith on there one day. Oh yeah, we definitely can do that, man. Keith's my guy. He's been on. He came on our show when we first started doing radio a couple years ago. Tackle goes down, you assume mesh come your way. So you go to, is that a cogent point? Oh, good question. So let's talk about it real quick. So yeah, initially, yeah, when you see that tackle go down, right, and they're in the odd front right here, you got 5-0-5. So you definitely probably want to. Well, let me see what 42 is doing. Let's just focus on 31 right now. Yeah, and initially, yeah, you definitely want to squeeze. We call it sit and feather technique. But here's the other thing, though. Why is it choppy like that? What is going on? So with the back away, you expect run two, right? So the action, the flow is going away. So yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, you'd squeeze down. But with the action flow going away, you really just tighten down if like that cutback, right? Because there's not anybody pulling. Normally, when we talk about this, reading that key, that tackle goes down, you see somebody coming back, you're closing. There's nothing to close on because the flow and the action is going away, right? They're pulling to the boundary. So yeah, he could probably squeeze down a little bit more. But I will say this though, he does have some defenders that are in there, right? So I mean, you probably don't want to over squeeze either. But anytime you recognize pass, man, you know, you get out of that mode and you do exactly what he's doing. So I mean, yeah, I mean, coaching point could be maybe just squeeze down a little bit tighter because I mean, you guys just see what happens when you don't squeeze. The reason you squeeze is because if not, there's typically bigger holes. So say that quarterback, and you do have some security with Sav right here. I mean, we're pretty much kind of closing everything off. So yeah, you could probably squeeze a little bit tighter there, but once he recognizes and diagnoses that his pass, you trigger on that. And so and to your point about the mesh, if the back was on our side, then you would be, more worried about the mesh because that means you'd be the quarterback player if he were to pull it. But with the flow and everything going the opposite, you're more of the backside, kind of like crash, like run down defender, right? Cut back, running down the line of scrimmage. Sets up 2nd and 16. Let's see what we got. It looks more like just covered 3. I just was confused for a second at the top, the way he was playing it, jumping that. Everybody else is playing more of covered 3, but that was weird at first. But let's see the back end, see what happens. Got a chip. So well, let me go up top real quick. Oh, that was what's his name? Man, that dude's really come a long way. What I was going to say up here is in the NFL, a lot of times what guys do or what teams do, is when you're getting a lot of chips like that, because they used to chip the hell out of. I mean, we had like Mario Addison, Bruce Irvin, Brian Burns. You start turning it. We call it a natural. So what a natural is this guy ends up just working up. He continues working up for contain, and this guy just falls underneath. And that's why I'm surprised a lot of teams haven't started doing that with us. As much as we chip, it's kind of shocking that we don't see a lot of guys doing that, because you're actually going to end up getting a lot of sacks off it, because they're doing that to slow down your edge rush, obviously. But then what you turn that a natural basically is you just switch responsibilities with this guy. Like you expect to get chipped. All right, let him work up for contain. And it almost plays out like a TE stunt. But we call it like a natural, because you just naturally let it happen. Because you see what happens if not, you end up, I mean, you don't even really get a chance to really rush because you're too busy, dealing with that chipper, versus a natural boom. As soon as you feel that, and it's just tough because you'd have to communicate this pre-snap, but then you just wrap underneath. Much more effective than you end up being out of the play because of that chipper. Again, not on Keon. I'm just saying from like a coaching point that like we had like with us with the Panthers. But initially going to power with Yonze Pierre, disengage. But I love how he bends right there, man. I mean, he's come a long way. And I talked to them about this because I was like, man, y'all have a lot of power rushers, man. They're like, yeah, we don't have a whole bunch of just true speed rush guys. Like that's just not. A lot of our guys are more speed to power guys. And they also, was interesting. They watched or they studied a lot of NFL tape, and the NFL, I guess, like the stats from the NFL show that speed to power is arguably one of the most effective rushes out there in terms of speed, in terms of the amount of like the speed I get into the quarterback, right? And so they actually lean into the speed of power, because at first I used to remember you guys heard me talking about. I'm like, man, they don't really work a whole bunch of moves. Like I wonder why our edge guys don't work a bunch of moves, and that's those are two of the reasons why. They feel like a lot of their guys are more speed of power guys, and going off of guys in the league. I guess that's kind of the thing right now. A lot of speed to power. But anyway, that's what we're seeing worked right here. But really nice job. Don't get. The only thing if I was coaching him, if I would critique him, I would just say pad level. You see how we're higher than him. I mean, if you're going speed to power, you don't ever want to be, at eye level with the guy, because these guys outweigh us, right? Us edge rushers, we're what, 240 on average. Those guys are 320. I mean, that's an 80-pound difference. We're not going to win that battle like that. Now, what we can do is when we do get stalemated like that, disengage, work a quick swim, and bend and rip up like that and lean back into them as we fall into the quarterback. That's a damn good rush right there. And to me, I just feel like he's come such a long way. Like those types of things, like that's just a feel thing, man. Like he goes speed to power, boom, gets stalemate a little bit, disengage, right? That's just him growing and developing as a rusher, which he's been really good, man. Oh, thank you, Adam. I appreciate it, man. Keon Keeley favors Eric Anders. Only thing, Chris, Eric Anders was a middle linebacker, if I wasn't mistaken. Keon's like 6'5", 280. I think Eric Anders like 6'1", 6'2". He was probably like 230 when he played. So if you mean like the way they look, maybe you're talking about the way they look. What's your schedule this week? Yeah, Phil, I know we're off Christmas. I don't know if we're going to be on Christmas Eve. I gotta ask the station, but I'll have an answer for you guys tomorrow for sure. I would text Wyatt, but he's doing his show right now. This is at drop 8. I mean, it's what, third in a million, I think, at this point. Drop 8, breaking on the football. All right, a couple more plays. I know I keep saying that, but why not? Why not? Let's see. See what happens here. We're on a slant up front because we're bringing Keon here. Now this is the only thing. It looks like we're playing former man coverage here. So that's what we talk about. Like the downsides of playing man is just got to be careful about. You know, everybody's backs are turned, everybody's in their coverage. Guys scrambling like that. So, but to Adam's point about Indiana, I mean, Mendoza, he's not a runner, right? So I think you can feel a lot more comfortable playing a lot more man coverage if you like to with that game plan. All right, is there a couple more? Dr. Crystal, what's up? Merry Christmas. Peaking at the right time. That's right. That's right. Yeah, and hopefully we ride the momentum into that Rose Bowl game, man. We're gonna need it. Kind of reminds me of Myles Garrett. Carson, boy. Hey, listen, Keon's my guy, but golly, Carson. Quarterback counter here. Nowhere to go. How's my dad doing, man? I think I'll be honest with you, man. I hadn't talked to my dad in probably over a month, man. So, I mean, I'm assuming he's good. He's kind of the type of guy, man. I hate to say it like this. He's like, he'll be around for a minute, then like next thing you know, I mean, you go like a month without, sometimes even longer. You just don't hear from him. Now, granted, like I'm saying, like, not saying I called him, he didn't pick up or nothing. I just hadn't. I know he's doing his church thing, but I'm assuming he's good. But he kind of disappeared, man. He was coming on the show. He was just hopping on here like once or twice a week, and then I know he started doing his church like full time, but he didn't really say nothing. He kind of just like fell off. I didn't really talk to him. But I'm assuming he's good. I saw his church service being streamed on Facebook. I basically keep up with them through the stream. But he's an interesting cat, man. He's an interesting cat for sure. He on it ain't like your typical, like he don't just like call and like check in, like, oh wait, what's up? Like it's just kind of like he'll either hop on the stream or I don't hear from him for like weeks or something. But he's kind of always kind of been like that. It ain't nothing new. Quarterback counter. Let's see if we can see up front. Boy, TK, man, you talk about eating blocks, man. God, we're gonna miss this next year. Hey, but I'll tell you, I'm excited about London Simmons, though. He's a dog. I mean, he's a dog. London Simmons, I'm saying, is a dog. Sorry, but TK is, I mean, God, I mean, look at that, man. I mean, he's just eating up blocks. They're running counter, and I mean, look at that. There ain't nowhere to go. I mean, this dude is literally just hunkering down all them people. And still ended up making the tackle. Golly. Big dude. Great to see the D-line work so well together. Do you think just the frame and build similar? Miles is like a statue though, bro. But no, I hear what you're saying. The only thing, this is what I'll say about Miles though. Myles Garrett is like the craziest athlete I've probably ever seen. Like that dude bends like he's like some small edge guy, but he's like 275, rock solid. I mean, he takes up these big steps. I mean, like he bulldozes people in the backfield with his strength, but then like you can see him like, man, when he dips, man, Myles Garrett, I mean, bro, I've never seen somebody built that freakishly, but also like have that type of athlete. I mean, it makes no sense. But I get what y'all are saying. But I know what you guys mean. Yeah, Dr. Crystal Key. Yeah, no, like I said, it's all good. Like I understand exactly what y'all are saying. It's an interesting dynamic, man. I try to just kind of just keep it all simple, but it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But you're right, Keith. Trust me. I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. Trust me, like I said, it's kind of unfortunate, but like I said, it's an interesting dynamic. Kind of probably another conversation for another day. But no, but you're definitely right, brother. Quick toss. Where are we at now? Sorry. All right, we're almost into the fourth quarter. Let's see. Let me skip all this stuff. I want to get to some of these other sacks. And then I promise we'll get up out of here. Yeah, at this point, we were all over them. They ain't have nothing. Quarterback counter again. Nowhere to go. Listen, once we oh, no, Keith, you're good, brother. No, you're good. No, you're good. Nah, it ain't no. Listen, I think I had kind of same thing. Yeah, no, y'all are good. Yeah, listen, no, we all family over here. Like I said, I just wasn't trying to be all whatever. No, y'all are fine. Nah, listen, I mean, look, listen, the easiest way to put it, basically, my parents got divorced when I was young. I mean, we were raised by our mom pretty much. But like with sports and stuff, my dad's always been around like sports and all that stuff. Then unfortunately lost my mom about 2 years ago. And yeah, I mean, like I said, just unfortunately, I was hoping it would be more like, all right, maybe that would be something to kind of help bring our relationship a little bit more consistent, right? But unfortunately, I mean, it ain't really going like that, and it's kind of reverted back to just kind of like, because I'll be honest, it's always been like this. Like even like before we were even doing the show, like it's always been like football, stuff like that. We connected, but then outside of that, it's kind of, we just don't really. I don't know. This has never really been his thing. You know what I mean? Like he's never been like the one to like just call, check in. Like he not really do that. But like if there's a game or something, he'd be there. And again, I'm not trying to like be all messy. I'm just being honest. I mean, I look at you guys like family, y'all. I mean, I'm with you guys 5 days a week, and it is what it is. No big deal. That's why, like, when people are always like, "Man, I miss your dad being on." I'm like, "Yeah, shoot, I wish he was on here too," because I know it's entertaining. Like, trust me, I'll be the first one to tell you, like, it's great content when he's on here, and it's funny because it went from a lot of people, um, a lot of people. He was very strong with his takes and his opinions. A lot of people didn't like him. Hell, he pissed a lot of Alabama people off, and he always had, been a supporter of Alabama, but he just called it how he saw it, and uh, he was very, very clear cut with his opinion. And at first, people didn't like it, and they started coming around to it because I mean, there's a lot of truth to what he was saying. There's just kind of that harsh truth. Um, but moral of the story is, yeah, nah, I mean, he's got a lot going on with this church stuff too. So I mean, that's probably part of it, but all good, man. That's why we've been working to get you guys a lot more guests on here and keeping it rolling, man. Justin Jefferson, man, great job right here. Flowing with the Polars, blowing them up, making the tackle. Great play. Great play. Now, I forgot about that, Dr. Chris. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we need to start utilizing our resources, all our resources here on the show. We got Dr. Crystal, who does the therapy work. I mean, we got folks that do a whole bunch of stuff, man. No, I appreciate you guys, seriously. No, I understand, Keith. Well, just know, brother. I mean, you got people praying for you for sure, and understand that. Listen, it's a tough time for a lot of people, but just know, man, like for every bad day, there's always going to be good days to come. Trust me. So, just always remember the good days, even when you are going through some bad days. Just always remember that, man. Lean into the people that you're part of your support system. Take care of yourself. Do some things that you enjoy. And just know, man, you ain't the only one. Trust me. I mean, there's a lot of people that sit up in front of screens and do all this. Trust me, man. Man, life is it's tough, brother. Yeah, I'm not saying that to downplay anything. I'm saying that in the sense of I hope you know you're not alone. That's the better way I should say that. You're not alone, man. So hopefully, even if it's just for these 2 hours we sit on here, hopefully it gives you a little bit of time to kind of talk football and kind of do something you enjoy, man. Hell, that's what it does for me. That's why I enjoy doing it. Sorry, I was trying to see what we were doing here because it's a similar look. We're showing cover 0 here. And we end up bring 5, but this time we are playing man. Playing man with two low hole defenders. We got man coverage, then 2 low holes. Bray just got a little handsy early on. Little handsy early on. Ball on 37. Damn good throw. Got 3x1 up top. Let's see what they're working. Hit us on that dig. What coverage are we playing? Cover 3. Yeah, I want to say we're playing cover 3 right here. Just trying to figure out that corner ends up buying him at the bottom, I guess. It's because he's so deep. But part of it, though, when you play zone like that sometimes, man. On Collins Sag, they ran a really nice game. When was that? Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I can imagine, Dr. Crystal. I definitely can imagine it's probably busy. Like a switch flip for the offense, second quarter. Yeah, I mean, listen, that pressure we faced early on, man. I mean, it was a lot. We had a couple drops, and then I don't know, man. It's like you're right, like a switch flip. Getting kind of tired of hearing all the Michigan stuff. Amazing how the national media has gone crickets on the whole Michigan coaching thing. Yeah. I mean, that's why I said I never thought it would even. I understand what people are saying. Like Michigan probably was sitting there lingering. I don't think it was ever. No, I don't think it was never Coach DeBoer. I think it was more so on Michigan's end. I mean, if for whatever reason we did lose this football game, they probably were just kind of sitting there waiting, like hoping that they could try to come up with something. To me, it just never made sense. Why would you want to go from like the University of Alabama with all the resources here? Yes, there's a lot of pressure and stress, but then go to a Michigan program, which, again, if you erase all the scandals and all the issues that they've had over the last couple of years, I mean, that's a big-time job. I understand that. But with everything they have going on currently right now, I never saw a world where he would want to leave Alabama to go deal with that, where you got to play Ohio State every single year. And if you don't have success against those guys, your ass is packed up anyway, regardless of what you do on the postseason side of things. They almost got rid of Ryan Day for that. I wanted to give Sheridan another year, not take Grubb this summer. We got to talk about it too. I forgot to mention it. It'll be interesting. I think guys like Derek Nix. Now, if I'm being honest with you, for everything that I know about Grubb, I don't really see him as the guy that he's very much a like doing things my way type of guy. But I think having different minds outside of the same people that came from Washington, a la like, Shepard and Sheridan, I think it clearly can go one or two ways. Damn, we just almost had a hand on that. But I think it almost would be kind of nice to have some fresh input. Problem is, I just know from what I know about Grubb, he's not really trying to. He's kind of doing things his way. But personally, I feel like a guy like Nix, and if you look at what Auburn was able to do when he became the play caller, right? He's got experience being a former running back himself and a successful one, but also coaching running backs. I know he's going to coach the receivers. I would imagine, I mean, he probably will have some good input when it comes to the running game, right? So I think it'd be like a nice, I don't know, refresher having somebody that's not, because if you think about it, everybody from the staff that came over is all from Washington, damn near, except like one or two guys. But I do feel like it would have been nice to keep Sheridan around. I feel like Sheridan this year in his role as quarterback coach slash co-offensive coordinator, I mean, and even just comparing what he was able to do last year to what Ryan Grubb had done this year, I kind of felt like he actually was, you know, a nice coach to have on staff. Not to mention everybody I've talked to always told me, man, like, hey, Sheridan gets a lot of flack, but he's a damn good football coach. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but he does have a reputation for being a little stubborn. I mean, game of inches, guys. I mean, look, I mean, Deontay just barely misses getting a hand on that. I mean, that's all their running game consisted of, really. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't. I feel like they ran the ball decent that first matchup. Maybe I'm forgetting some, but I feel like they had a couple runs there. They didn't really try to do traditional running game. It's a bunch of just John Mateer, which we said, man, you got to contain him and capitalize, and that's what we did. Those keys ended up actually happening if you think about it. We said you got to contain Mateer defensively and capitalize on the turnovers. We did both of those for the most part. Mateer definitely had a pretty solid day, but still, throughout the entirety of the game, did a nice job stopping them outside the first quarter. Then offensively, we protected the football and found a way to recreate the movement that we had offensively last time we played. So those are my two big keys, and ended up happening, which is good. When you compare the stats, Sheridan was a better OC. Yeah, actually, Dr. Crystal is right. Statistically, Sheridan had the better year. I mean, quarterback counter over and over. I mean, to know, I mean, nothing. Couldn't get nothing out of it. Let's see how we do this one. We're in our cover zero look. Let's see what we get to this time. They try to hit us running it. Let's counter. Third and 10, get movement. Oh, yeah, and shout out to Talty, man. Absolutely. Another, I don't even think that was bad. I think it just hit Deontay in the head. But I want to say we were playing. Nice job on that switch release. More man coverage. All right. Any last things, guys? I think I might get out here in a second. I think we only got like a series or two left, but this is when they really, the second half, you saw a lot more man coverage. You see it here. Keon Keeley almost coming up with something. 3rd and 8. What was that time? Let's see how much was left. Maybe we need to get some music next time. Maybe I know they got that preset music on here, but the music they got on here is trash. Oh hell no. Yeah, we're good. We're just gonna keep it rolling. We're almost done. Somebody want to make some some non-copyright music, let me know. All right, here we go. We'll end on here because it's a sack. This is the one Jake was talking about. All right, Jake, let's see what we got. Oh, whoops. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to see what they're made it look like something really exotic, but ended up really just running a simple TE game to the right side. But damn good job running it though. And really you can thank Rusaw for that. Yeah, you can thank Rusaw on this, man. Really good job here. Picking the hip of that tackle, but also getting that guard's attention. The guard is completely out of phase at this point. He's lost in the sauce. Kelby comes clean on the back end. Let's see what we got. Looks like more man coverage. He's playing man. Everything's locked up, strapped up, man. Everything's strapped up. Let's look at the tight copy. Let me see where the center goes. Yeah, this is nice. So what they do is they use TK to clear out this center. This is a really nice job. Really good execution. Maybe I'll post this on our X later, our Twitter. You get TK right. What's he doing, right? So he's crossing the face of the center. Why? He gets his attention over there. So now the center, look at this big ass hole that it opens up. His back's not paying attention. This back's supposed to at least check this, which I guess he's trying to do, but he doesn't really see it. Boom. So again, this is what we call a TE or a pop. We used to call it a pop. Same thing. This guy, you're rushing vertical. See him pick. And this guard is supposed to pass this off, but he realized it too late, so he tries to do a speed turn. Hey, give him some credit for effort, but come on, guy. But really nice job by 4 here, man. It's great. Great. We'll get the pick. Shoot, because if he stays up, man, then you got 2 clear rushers, right? Or 2 free rushers. Really nice job. Really nice job. All right. There's 5 minutes left, so we'll call it on that. We've been in here for a minute, but again, big thanks to everybody who's been hanging out with us, all the listeners, always, and definitely our super chats that we've gotten. Adam, seriously, please send me a message, man. I'd love to do some type of advertising or something for you with as much as you've donated and helped out. But all our super chats, seriously, thank you, Keith. Thank you so much for the super chat, and also everybody who always just hangs out with us every day, watches the stream, listens to the show, man. We appreciate all the support. Definitely means a lot. So Phil, you too, man. Phil's always hanging in there. But we'll take a look at the offense tomorrow, because I think, let me check to see if it's hold on. Let me see if the offensive tape's up. And we'll definitely, I know you guys wanted to see some more or some Indiana tape. We will start watching that too. Let me see if this offense is up here yet. Not yet. Still waiting on the offensive tape, but I will let you guys know when we get it. Hopefully it'll be up by tomorrow. If not, no big deal. We'll keep on rolling. But you guys have a great rest of y'all's day, man. Again, thank y'all so much. Always hanging out. If you haven't, man, just hit that like button on the way out. And yeah, I look forward to talking, guys. Tomorrow on Talking Tuesday, we got Clint Lamb, top of the hour. Then I'll text Slay to make sure he's good. So we'll be back rolling then right here on the Miller's Edge. We'll see you guys then.